bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion. And Carey Hammy. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Howdy, welcome and happy Monday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically talk about all things going on in pop culture and hot topics. So, if that's a show for you, definitely stick around because we got a lot of tea to spill today, including this news regarding Jean Grey's very own Famke Janssen, or the actor that played her, is appearing in Avengers Doomsday. This is according to an X-Men writer. We'll get into that story. Plus, we may have a title for this Black Panther 3 movie that is scheduled to be shooting later this year. And we'll get into that information that just came out earlier. Also, I know the Golden Globes happened last night. I still don't care because I just think the Golden Globes is stupid. But what we are going to talk about is the NAACP Image Awards because Sinners is leading with a massive 18 nominations. So we'll talk about all things going on Black on this channel. So stick around for that. We also got to talk about Hot 97. Y'all, I'm sure you already heard that Ebro in the Morning was chopped. They're doing okay. They're over there on YouTube building their thing there. But now we have it's been announced who is going to be replacing Ebro in the Morning over there at Hot 97. And I actually like their choice. So we'll get into that. Plus, Mary J. Blige, we was talking about her yesterday when we was throwing a little shade at her over her lack of stage presence. She looked like she don't want to be up there performing, but it looked like she finally found a common ground on where she could do a couple of shows and not have to do the whole grueling touring thing. So we'll talk about that because Miss Mama's done started her own residency over there in Vegas. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, we got to talk about weak ass Paramount and the fact that because they're not getting their way with this whole Warner Brothers deal because they keep getting rejected, now they're pulling a Donald Trump and they're suing. I'm starting to think that this is all Larry Ellison with his bullshit. So we'll get it. It's funny. Not even 22, 5 minutes in the show, I'm already cussing. So we'll break down their lawsuit. Warner Brothers is calling it meritless. We'll break it on down because they working my root canal nerves. So we'll talk about that. Plus, we got to talk about this actor Matt Prokop. I think that's how you say his name. Who his ex is speaking out and saying she suffered years of abuse. He dated, what was her name, Sarah Hyland over there from Modern Family. Well, he got caught up in child porn charges. So we got to talk about that tea. Plus, I'm starting to think L.A. Reid might have been guilty. I mean, I think I was thinking it the whole time, but we got a verdict in regards to this whole situation because apparently he went and settled with Drew Dixon over them SA allegations, so they don't have to go to trial. Then we got to get into this because apparently, why is it like Drag Race start and already the beefs be going off? Because apparently Willam and the artist formerly known as Fifi, Jaremi, Carey, are carrying over on Twitter. This happened a couple of days ago, but I just finally got around to gathering everything together. So we're gonna break that down. We got clips, we got the tweets, we got all of that. So be prepared for that mess. Plus, we got to talk about the Pork Chopper season 18, Didi Fuego, who is explaining why her time on Drag Race season 18 matters despite being chopped first. And we got some great news for you heated rivalry fans. A new book is coming. I'll let you know when it's going to drop. So, your little gay hearts and straight hearts, because I know the women love this damn show, will be set aflutter when we get into all of that tea. So, before we get to those topics, if you could please do me a solid, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash that notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please and thank you. Now, hold on. Why are they telling me when streaming to a profile, viewer comments won't show up unless the stream is public on Facebook? But I know that. um, wait, hold on. Why can I show? Oh no, okay. Um, I'm gonna have to figure out how to. I could have sworn I fixed that whole thing with the Facebook situation, but for some godforsaken reason, I cannot program the comments to show up in here. Because normally it'd be showing up in there. Don't tell me y'all went and changed that thing again. Because I actually like when y'all was doing that. Well, I just had to pull it up. The people's in the building already says, so did everyone forget the golden go? But that's why I said I still don't care about the Golden Globes. We're gonna talk about the NAACP Image Awards. I did not know it was on until I logged off the show last night and I saw it was. I was like, oh, the Golden Globes is on. Okay. I didn't care. Still, I didn't watch it. I did see the clips. I thought Nikki Glazer was hilarious, especially some of the jokes she made about Leo DiCaprio. I did like the moment where Wanda Sykes kind of, threw a little shade at Bill Maher, his big nose Zionist ass. And I also loved Mark Ruffalo on the red carpet going in on the Trump administration and wearing that pin in remembrance of um oh my god, I totally forgot the woman's name. Miss Good. I almost said Megan Good. um, so yeah, so I was liking that he was paying homage to her and all that, and then definitely speaking, he was like, "I'm not feeling well right now, and plus there's so much stuff going on in the industry, and y'all want to sit up here and talk about." He wasn't throwing shade really at the people; that's their job, the media. But he was up there just talking about like this is not a time for us to be all celebrating and what did Miss Girl say on season 7 of Drag Race? Flozzy dying. We ain't got time to be doing all that. It's like we got to get vigilant. And they was asking him for solutions on what we should do when he was putting it out there. So a lot of people wanted to spew a lot of BS, but don't have a solution. He gave solutions. And if people gonna come up in here with that Trump shit, Google is your friend. Can we get the Funny enough, I do have a longer song of it. We never it was but it was I was given the edited version from Ashley Breeze because that's who produced it. But when I sat down with my friend, he was just like, I was just writing stuff down, and we just took the things and put it in the song, and she worked it out. And she was like, "Oh no, if we do a full thing, I don't know if people want to stick around for the whole thing. So we're just going to do a small, get to the point version." So that's the version we get. But if it was a way I can get my hands on that longer version, I might have to hit a friend of mine up and see if I can get it. But shout out to Ashley Bree because she did produce that song for me. But that is me all over it, and those are my lyrics. And you said Happy Monday, Feliz Lunes. And it said, a number is here, gender versus Bob. Oh, yeah, I got to look into that too. I totally forgot because I did see that Bob answered all the stuff regarding Ginger Minge. The reason why I didn't talk about it is because I didn't get around to watching the video yet. Plus, I got to watch the Bob the Drag Queen interview where he sat down with Kiki Palmer. I still haven't gotten around to I feel so behind on shit. And then I think it's because I get so engulfed in all this Trump stuff. Like last week, I was so behind on so many videos that I was supposed to watch. I deleted all. I was like, I ain't got time. We done moved on. There's new stuff coming in. It's constantly smacking us with all this information. It's hard to keep up, which is why I posted this thing on social media that I'm just overwhelmed with everything that's going on. Are you flirting? I don't have thoughts on China. I don't live there. So why would I have thoughts on China? Oh, yeah. And another thing too, when we get into this, oh, thank you. Her name was Renee. I don't know how I forgot her name. I knew a girl named Renee when I worked at the circus. But what was I going to say? Oh, so and I love the fact that she did throw shade at Paramount Plus on Paramount Plus. Well, Paramount on Paramount Plus because she threw shade at CBS, basically SEEBS. See the bullshit because that's basically what it was. So I love the fact that Nikki Glazer was roasting them people right to their face and didn't give a good goddamn. Barry Weiss, or I like to call her glasses, probably seething over the stuff, but she too damn stupid anyway to probably know that she was being read. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. After this Paramount thing that's going on with Warner Brothers, I'm about this close of getting rid of the channel, the streaming service. The only reason why I'm keeping it is because of Drag Race. And if somebody look when All Stars come around and somebody can send me a link to a bootleg, then I'll start watching it that way. But for the most part, I'm about getting sick and tired of Paramount and this crap that they're doing. I would just wanted to see Joe Keery's cute self. There's a rumor going around that they're trying to get him in a MCU movie. I didn't really dive deeper into it. I just been seeing the headlines. And he ended up presenting with Charlie XCX. When I turned on the TV, I'm about sick of Timothy Chalamet. I turned it off about 10 minutes into it and went, I'm sick of Timothy Chalamet. I'm tired of Kylie Jenner and them lips. I'm tired of just seeing the same old tired ass people. Jennifer Lopez need a goddamn sandwich. She's losing too much weight. Yes, sir. We see your BS, CBS. Absolutely. No one can win Drag Race without drama, though. Apparently not. So yeah, I got to look into it. But it's been a lot of Drag Race drama coming out as of late. It's been hard for me to keep up with all of that because we was like since January started. How many? I probably did like 5 or 6 stories on Drag Race girls and they drama. A lot of it having to do with Ginger Minge. But yeah, I definitely want to watch those videos first before I start speaking on it. But nevertheless, yeah, I don't understand why. I think did they remove the comment thing where we can't really see? I don't know. And then I think I may have to redo everything over because I could have sworn that I did link the Facebook thing, but I was like, I ain't got time to be doing that right now. Because they said if you already made your streams public, then no further action is required. Um, well, if that's the case, then why are you putting this stuff in my stuff? And I ain't got time to be reading all this because I'm live and I can't be sitting over here with dead air while I'm trying to entertain. So we'll just have to figure all that out once I log off. But nevertheless, let me hit my banner and let's get into the first topic, which is this rumor that is swirling regarding Famke Janssen reprising her role as Jean Grey. I don't think the Dark Phoenix. I still hated the way that they handled the Dark Phoenix character in the Dark Phoenix solo movie and in The Last Stand. So I try to not acknowledge those trash ass movies, especially because Dark Phoenix was terrible. They had Simon Kinberg, who had no director experience directing that movie. He should just stuck to writing and producing. And then you had Brett Ratner, perverted ass, who directed the third movie, which I feel like was a piece of shit, especially the way y'all treated Halle Berry, who was one of the most powerful mutants out there. So with all that being said, the rumors are swirling. Even after she said that in interviews in the past, because I remember watching those interviews, she said, I'm not in Avengers Doomsday." And now, according to what's one of the writers of the X-Men comics, Chris Claremont, he has revealed that she will be back in Avengers. Well, he's I don't know if he said Avengers Doomsday. We got the clips. I'm gonna play it in a second, but so let's get into the story. Shout out to Joe Blow for this. So, following last week's release of an Avengers Doomsday teaser featuring select members of the X-Men, Marvel's legendary X-Men writer, Chris Claremont is adding to the hype by revealing another cast member he says is destined to show up in the MCU event film. According to Claremont, Famke Janssen will return as Jean Grey in Avengers Doomsday, despite previous claims that she was not involved with the production. Now, he did an interview with this podcast by the name of Power of X-Men, where he basically gave his overall thoughts on the latest Doomsday teaser featuring Professor X, Magneto, and Cyclops. And they're pretty much making it seem like he let it slip that she's going to be in the movie. So I do have the clip of what he said on the podcast. We're going to play it and then we'll come back, we'll react, and then we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
What a difference a costume makes.
Yeah, what do you think of the Doomsday teaser with Cyclops?
How to put this tactfully? Have you ever noticed that with almost all costumes that work in comic books, in real life, they don't register as brilliantly as they do with print? I mean,
Yeah.
Jim's designs are gorgeous on the page. And the thing I find most wonderful about it is they're bringing back
James Marsden, bringing back James Marsden?
the original James Marsden. No, they're bringing back the original cast, including Famke. What a difference! What a difference!
So basically, he revealed there that he said Famke, whatever, but I call her Famke because I be trying to sound all fancy. Tomato, right? So, Famke Janssen, according to him, she's coming back. And look, there's no actual word on whether or not she is going to be in Avengers Doomsday. This is just him Well, he's basically saying this. But I will say this: he has said in the past that Chris Evans was going to be in Avengers Doomsday, and he was correct. So even though he's a writer on the X-Men films, the X-Men comics, but I'm sure that if you are a part of the whole MCU and that sort of thing, and you've written for like Marvel and that sort of thing, people talk and things get around and that sort of thing. Yes, she wasn't a part of Chairgate. I don't think they were going to put everybody in there. Maybe they wanted to give us some element of surprise of who was going to be in, but they don't want to do a full-on Scream situation where y'all so desperate to get butts in seats when the movie comes out that y'all want to sit and give all of your put all your cards on the table, and then now for whatever because your movies really haven't been doing well. The last few phases post Endgame haven't been really doing well. So while I would like to see her in the franchise, I mean, I don't know where they would probably try to fit her. Um, because I was going to say, didn't they kill her off in X-Men: The Last Stand? But then again, with these MCU characters, none of these superheroes ever really die. I guess unless you're Black Widow, but then they can go into a multiverse and pluck her and bring her back, which I don't think will ever happen. Like kind of like what they did with Gamora. But in this situation, I mean, I would like to see her. Maybe she won't come back in this one. Maybe they'll have her in Secret Wars. Maybe that's where they're saving her. And then who knows? Also, what I will say is, they do reshoots. Like they had just finished shooting this movie. They're probably looking at what they've shot so far, and then they leave it open because it's like you have a whole year when you could just go in and be like, you know what? We need to add a little something to this sequence or whatever the case is. So let's do within the reshoots, let's bring Famke in. So maybe she was telling the truth at the time. It's like, yeah, I'm not in it. But then after she done said all of that in the press, then she was like, oh, they hit her up and it was like, okay, let's get her to come in this film or whatever the case is. And they found a way to bring her in. Or maybe she's not in Doomsday at all. Maybe she's in Secret Wars. But he said they bringing everybody back. And they ain't mentioned Halle Berry. So does that mean that my girl Storm is going to be up in there too? Because I don't understand how the hell you're going to do an X-Men without a freaking Storm. That don't make no sense. Um, so yeah, like I was saying before, in April he basically announced that Chris Evans will return, and then we saw the trailer, so it could be true. And we haven't seen her in the trailer. Maybe they have plans for her down the road. Like I said, she could be in Secret Wars, or maybe they plan on like when they give a full-fledged trailer, we'll see her. But it'll be interesting to see how they manage to fit someone like Jean Grey in this when um and see how she can go up against somebody as powerful as Doctor Doom. I was also thinking too that the rumors are going around that Sadie Sink is actually going to be playing Jean Grey, a younger version. So who knows? Maybe they got plans or whatever the case is, and they'll figure all that out. But in the meantime, I feel like at this point, we don't necessarily know for sure if she's going to be in it. We should just take it as a rumor. Well, honestly, I mean, I like the X-Men. I don't know what purpose they would serve to be a part of Doomsday. I kind of wish that y'all would have just gave X-Men their own thing instead of we have to introduce them in this thing so that way they get spun off into their own thing. Or maybe there's some course correcting or they want to do right by a lot of the characters from from the X-Men, Bryan Singer verse of X-Men because he screwed up a lot of those characters, except Hugh Jackman, because he clearly had a hard on for that man, but everybody else was pretty much underused in that freaking franchise. Or Sean Asmore, because he liked using him too. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you believe these rumors that we could be getting Famke Janssen back in Avengers Doomsday? I mean, first of all, they got like 800 damn characters in that thing. So I don't even know how many people they're going to be able to, how they're going to make it all work in that film. There's rumors that are floating around. The movie's going to be damn near 4 hours. So they said I think about 3 hours, 48 minutes. But if that's the case, on top of that, with them stupid 30-minute trailers that y'all be doing, the movie's going to be over 4 hours. And anybody got time to be sit up in no theater that damn long? I started getting restless sitting up in the theater that long when I saw Kill Bill, A Whole Bloody Affair. So while I'm sure I'll be loving all the action and the razzle dazzle and the crazy special effects that goes on into this whole thing with Avengers Doomsday, that movie don't need to be that damn long. If y'all want to come out with a longer extended version like how y'all did well, not how they did, but how the DCEU did Justice League, if y'all want to put that version out there that for us to sit at home and watch where we can get like a 4 or 5 hour version of that, I'll be here for that. Just get to the point with the movie because I understand like when you're in the movies, there's only been so many showings that you could put in the theater if that movie's that long. So I'm going on a side tangent about the times, but that wasn't something I had brought up on the show. That's why I'm bringing it up now. So I definitely want to hear from y'all regarding that, and if you believe the rumors regarding Famke going to be in the new upcoming X-Men Avengers Doomsday. I don't know why I was thinking that, because she's an X-Man. That's why. Y'all know what I'm saying. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right, let me see what's going on. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see how they try to fit her in there. You said I watched the Stranger Things documentary. So I forgot that came out. Why was I close to watching a documentary when the actual finale of the show? Then the actual finale of the show, I was more invested into it than. And funny enough, I feel like when I watched the trailer, it definitely was tugging on the heartstrings. So I can imagine like watching the full documentary and it would feel that. To me, I feel like the fact that you got all these actors together and y'all knew it was the final season and getting all that emotion and everything, that's probably way more compelling and powerful than that terrible ass script of that final season. They're going to work and because the funny enough, according to the reports about Scott Summers has a family, but I don't know. But I was like, when I heard the family, like, is it with Jean Grey or is it a multiverse where they're still concluding with Dark Phoenix died, Scott moved on, he has a whole new family, and we'll see that. That'd be a good question if Anna Paquin's going to be in it. I haven't heard anything, but he said everybody's in it. I would think that they would bring Anna Paquin back for Rogue. Where's she been, by the way? We haven't seen her since they canceled True Blood. Said they salvaging the popular actors and characters, and you know that they probably spent a whole lot of money bringing on people back. Can I get some Rogue and Emma Frost? Well, Nightcrawler's in it. Um, what's his name? The one that hosts the Traitors. He's already mentioned Alan Cumming. He already mentioned that he shot scenes, and he didn't know what the hell he was. He was like, "What am I fighting?" And because he said he had a fight. He has a fight scene with Pedro Pascal's character, Reed Richards. He said they got a fight scene, and the first time when they interacted with each other, he said that Pedro had to go home early. He revealed this on an interview last week, I believe, while he was promoting the Traitors, and he said that I think Pedro hurt his neck and he had to go home early or something or another. So, yeah, Alan Cummings in it. He already revealed that. I don't know about Rogue, but if they say everybody's coming back, I don't know about Emma Frost. I don't like how they did Emma Frost in the X-Men universe. If they could find a way to make her work today, I would be all for it. Because when did Emma Frost show up? She showed up in the one where they made them younger. They not Days of Future Past, the other ones where they had James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender. That whole and what's her name? The chick Jennifer Lawrence, where she played Mystique, and she got on my goddamn nerves the way she played that character because she was always bitching about the amount of makeup she had to put on. My concern about from the jump has always been how are they going to bringing those original X-Men cast members back when it has been many years. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they work that in, because I thought at this point we're gonna reboot X-Men and we're going younger, because if y'all trying to, and Kevin Feige loves, that's like one of his favorite comics is X-Men. I was like, why? That's be something that you should be bringing back into the franchise or whatever the case is. So I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I was like, why am I seeing that? Because I'm seeing something with Mary J. Blige announcing her residency. Whoop de doo, girl. Congratulate. Well, we got to talk. I said, I'm going to say whoop de doo. We supposed to talk about that. And I'm sitting there talking about whoop de doo. That is a topic. Wait, hold on. Me too. A little Swedish princess. And maybe we will get a few new characters. Look, I'm already overwhelmed with the amount of people they're going to put in this damn thing, but we'll see how it all works out. All right, y'all. So now, let's stick with the MCU. And let's get into this Black Panther news. So this morning, while I was putting the show together, I had came across this article and I saw that there were, um, yeah, I came across this article over on Game Radar because I'll be looking for stuff to be talking about on the show. And I was like, I started hearing people talking about, oh yeah, Black Panther 3 already has a title and all this other stuff. And sounds pretty interesting. So as y'all can see in the headline, well, in the title, the word on the street, let's take it with a grain of salt. They're talking about that Black Panther 3, as it goes into phase, because I was trying to remember what phase are we in. Apparently phase 6 is what we're gonna be going into. So according to a new listing on Film and Television Industry Alliance, Black Panther 3 is due to start shooting in London on June 15, 2026. The sequel still does not have an official release date, but if cameras are due to start rolling this summer, it will only be a matter of time until we find out when the Marvel project is due to hit screens. The document also states that the third installment will be titled Shadows of Wakanda and will explore Wakanda's vulnerability after T'Challa's death, with Shuri stepping up as both warrior and leader. This means that star Letitia Wright will return as Shuri. Well, I would think that she would. But as Black Panther, we'll get into my overall thoughts about that in a second. So they said we already had an inkling that T'Challa's little sister Shuri would lead the third movie following the passing of her brother and mother. That is not a spoiler. If you haven't seen Wakanda Forever, then that's your problem. Black Panther Wakanda Forever saw Shuri shake up the mantle and become the new Black Panther. The new plot line also all but confirms that Shuri will survive the events of Avengers Doomsday, which will premiere in this December, and Avengers Secret Wars arriving 1 year later. That is, if Black Panther 3 does indeed take place after Avengers 6. The news comes at the same time as F1 star Damson Idris addressed rumors of him taking over as Black Panther. In an interview with Variety, he said, "I'm thankful to the fans, of course. It's rumors, but I love that movie. I love the world. Although Shuri is leading this one, we could see him join the franchise in the future, blah, 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 so on and so forth." Okay, here's the thing what I gotta say on this. While I get that Shuri does eventually become Black Panther in the comics, I have not liked Letitia Wright as Black Panther in the films. I do not think that she has what it takes to lead, and she doesn't have that bravado. She doesn't have that charismatic, that presence that someone like a Chadwick Boseman has when she comes in. She definitely gives second tier vibes. She gives assistant teas. She gives basically like you're there to be in the room, be the Q of Wakanda. You make the gadgets. It's kind of like what Blade said about Whistler. He makes the weapons, I use them. So that's what I get from her. I do not get, and I get it, that people are like, oh, you don't like the fact of seeing a black woman. No, that ain't what I'm saying. Don't sit up here and twist my words, and don't start with that bullshit. Because I love female characters as superheroes. Even though I don't like the Zionist bitch, I did like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman in the first movie. Anytime that I see women in situations, I love seeing them in action. One of my favorite movies is Kill Bill. I can't wait to see this new movie, where they're gonna kill you, whatever it's called, with Zazie Beats. I'm looking forward to seeing that damn movie. Anytime we see a woman in some type of situation, I love seeing strong women in action roles, horror movie roles, anything Mila Jovovich comes in, even if it's terrible. My ass is in the theaters watching it. I love the Underworld movies with my girl Kate Beckinsale. I think they need to make another one. I even bought the last two ones that they came out with. The last two Underworld movies, because I was in the mood to watch Underworld for some reason. So I was like, let me just buy it, because it was like for a good price. It was like to get all of them. So I sat and I did a whole marathon about 2 weeks ago of all the Underworld, and I was sitting there just getting my life. So even if the scripts and everything is all that great, I love watching Kate Beckinsale kick butt on the big screen. So if y'all want to come in with that bullshit about you like women in movies, you can eat my ass from the back. Well, that's the only way you're gonna eat it, because it's behind me. But nevertheless, let me bring it back, because I'm going on a tangent. I know I sometimes reverse. Okay, so but I don't feel that she is good enough to lead Wakanda. I like the fact that we have M'Baku and all of them coming back, and we got Okoye and all of them that are going to be doing what they do. But as far as like bringing in eventually a new Black Panther, look, I get that they had to do what they had to do with, and I know some people don't like the fact of what they did with Wakanda Forever, that it was like, oh, y'all didn't recast a Black Panther. First of all, we Black folks don't do that. Like, we don't just sit up in here. We can't just do what white people can do, because they always got the leg up. They have way more products that they could pick from, whether you could just bring a new person in and y'all are okay with it. When it comes to Black people, we have to do the thing of, you got to respect that actor that came in, because we don't get a lot of roles. There's not a lot of superhero roles regarding Black people. So I understand why Ryan Coogler had to do what he had to do with Wakanda Forever. Yes, it wasn't a perfect movie, but I understood what he was up against, and I'm glad that Marvel, Disney, whatever you want to call them, allowed him to do what he needed to do with that film, so that way they could honor and respect Chadwick Boseman as that character, but also let's move it forward. Because I feel like, yeah, let her come in and do what she got to do in Doomsday and possibly Secret Wars. I don't know how much Shuri's character as Black Panther is going to fit in that universe, but we already know she's going to be in Doomsday because we saw the trailer. But I don't think they aired the trailer yet. I showed y'all pictures. So yeah, that official trailer I don't think dropped yet. I could be wrong, but yeah, that trailer with X-Men, well not X-Men, with Black Panther and Fantastic Four. I don't think that trailer came out yet, but I did show y'all pictures. But anyway, so I don't know how much he fits in this whole thing, but as far as it goes with that, I just don't see it. I do think it's time to recast. And the way you need to go about it is either y'all do a multiverse situation, but then again, they'd be like, well, why you can't pick Chadwick Boseman? Because he's dead. So either you pick a whole new actor and do that, or the best bet is we got to do a time jump and Damson Idris be old enough to take on the role of, this character. And he's the new Black Panther. And then he comes in and he's this kid that has to take on this responsibility. Yeah, it sounds similar to what they had to do with T'Challa after his father T'Chaka passed away. Well, was killed, because remember he died of the explosion. And damn, what was it? What movie was it again? It was Avengers, right? Civil War. When they did that one, that's when his father passed, and that's when we got introduced to that character. It's like I had to remember because it's been a minute. I'm gonna restart rewatching a lot of those movies to lead up to um Avengers Doomsday. When we get around that time, I am gonna start going back and watching the old, like the phase 1 through 3. So because since it's gonna be leading up to Avengers Doomsday, I mean, since it's gonna lead up to Civil War and Endgame and all that other stuff, um, then we get Doomsday and Secret Wars and other stuff. I want to watch those, and I'm not gonna watch post that because those are movies that's like, but I might watch Shang-Chi because Shang-Chi is in it. But yeah. So I'm not really feeling her, but I do feel like they need to recast at this point. You need to bring in a new Black Panther because that's what people are here to see. And I don't know, y'all don't have to agree with me. Denzel Washington, he did say that it is well, the rumor's been going around because remember he made it slip that Ryan Coogler is writing a role for him. I'm thinking he might be playing something like the Shadow King, which I actually would think would work. And to me, the Shadow King would fit in something like Shadows of Wakanda because Wakanda, the people in regards of Wakanda, they talk to the spirits and all the other stuff. You could bring Queen Ramonda back to be that spiritual thing that they talk to. Just like they had a moment where Shuri, in the last movie, she went and spoke to Killmonger, and then in the first film, you had T'Challa speaking to his father and that sort of. So they have a way of invoking the spirits and for that guidance or whatever the case is, or to kind of do their power because they're kind of like avatars in a way. I'm not talking about Avatar like the the blue people. I'm talking about Avatar, the Last Airbender. So I'm talking about something like that. So yeah, I just think, but yeah, I think that's all I got to say on this. So yeah, I'm not seeing Shuri as Black Panther. I guess you could use her to pass the torch or whatever the case is, but I'm actually for it's time to bring T'Challa's son in this situation and let's get cracking with that because this whole thing about Shuri playing the character, I just don't see it. So I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story in regards of these rumors regarding the name of this upcoming Black Panther film? Do you like the title? And are you here for her reprise? Well, Letitia Wright reprising the role as Black Panther. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Was Mephisto in one of the X-Men films? I think it was wait, which one was it? Bring on Ironheart. I did not like how they used Ironheart excuse me in Wakanda Forever. Also didn't like how they used it on the show. That's a not from the front. Sinners won a couple Globes last night, including Box Office Achievement. Congratulations to them. The award recognizes the year most acclaimed, highest earning, and or most viewed films that have garnered extensive global audience support and attained cinematic excellence. Are we talking about the Golden Globes? Oh boy. Congratulations, Sinners. Okay, so speaking of sinners, congratulations to, I guess congratulations to them at the Golden Globes last night, and congratulations to them again at the NAACP Image Awards, because it was announced today that Ryan Coogler's smash horror pick starring Michael Bakari Jordan dominated the film nominations for the 57th annual NAACP Image Awards. The Warner Brothers release scored 18 nominations on Monday, lapping its nearest rival, Spike Lee's highest to lowest, which got 9. Oh, I still haven't gotten around to seeing that movie. I know it's on Apple TV Plus or Apple TV, because I think they took the plus off. So I need to get around to watching it. But they said that, and besides that, Bel-Air led all television shows with 7 nominations. I think this was their final season. This show was done, so they're getting all the nominations. The nominees for Entertainer of the Year, the show's signature category, include Cynthia Erivo, who has no nominations in this whole Oscar race. And I mean, with the recent award season that was going on, Cynthia Erivo was not mentioned in anything. Didn't hear about the Golden Globes, the Actor Awards, any of this other stuff. I mean, I could be wrong about the other stuff, but Golden Globes, I don't think she was nominated at all. Also, Ariana Grande has been getting snubbed a lot too, which, no shade. I kind of knew that she didn't have a rat's chance of getting an Oscar this year. So Arianators, I'm sorry, but stay mad. I knew it was going to be a tough season, and Wicked for Good not getting so many rave reviews. I just knew that she was going to suffer because of it. So, sidebar assiding, they said the nominations for Entertainer of the Year include Cynthia Erivo, Doshi, you know, excuse me. Aiden Ross's favorite rapper, Kendrick Lamar, Michael Bakari Jordan, and Tiana Taylor. The NAACP Awards will take place on February 28th and be broadcast on BET and CBS, another channel that, oh God, I'm so over CBS and their BS. But anyway, let's go through the nominations really quick. There's only a couple of them I want to get into. Entertainer of the Year, Cynthia Erivo, Doshi, Kendrick Lamar, Michael Bakari Jordan, and Tiana Taylor. Outstanding Comedy Series goes to Abbott Elementary, Harlem. Harlem is a comedy? Harlem's not a comedy. Now, y'all pulling the damn Golden Globes. That was another thing I don't get about that. Why are y'all putting movies that are not comedies in comedic categories? There's nothing comedic about Harlem. Oh, you know what I was thinking? I'm such an idiot. I was thinking Godfather of Harlem with Forrest Whitaker. Harlem is a comedy. That's the Sex of the City with black girls. Megan Good, she was a part of that show. So Harlem is a comedy. My bad. I'll take it back. Ready to windmill on them people like they don't know what they're doing, and they got it. They did it right. I'm a still windmill on the Golden Globes. So there's Abbott Elementary, Harlem, Survival of the Thickest, The Residents, and The Upshaw's. Outstanding Actor in a Comedy Series, Cedric the Entertainer for The Neighborhood, David Allen Greer for St. Dennis Medical. I think they canceled that. David Oyelowo for Government Cheese. Let me find out y'all got a show called Government Cheese. There's Michael. Mike Epps for The Upshaws, and Vince Staples for The Vince Staples Show. Then we have Outstanding Actress in a Comedy Series, Ayo Adaberry wait, hold on, because I just realized I didn't put we got to have bells and whistles on this show. Ayo Edaberry for The Bear. The Bear is not a comedy. Okay, so now I'm windmilling back on y'all. The Bear is not a comedy. It's a drama with funny moments. It's not a comedy, so it should not be on this list. Maya Rudolph for Loot, Michelle Buteau for Survival of I like Michelle Buteau for Survival of the Thickest, Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary, and Uzo for The Residents. Now, outstanding supporting actor in a comedy series, Coleman Domingo. That's he like the light. I guess I do got to check. I was gonna say because he like the light skinned menses, but he married. I close my legs to marry men. So, but I did call him my husband though. Coleman Domingo for the 4 seasons. Then we got Giancarlo Esposito for The Residents, Josh Johnson for The Daily Show, Wendell Pierce for Elsbeth, and William Stanford Davis for Abbott Elementary. Outstanding supporting actress in a comedy series, Edwina Findlay for The Resident, Ego Nwodim for Saturday Night Live. Is it Ego or Ego? Janelle James for Abbott Elementary, Jerry Johnson for Harlem, and Wanda Sykes for The Upshaws. Now we got outstanding drama series, Bel-Air, Beyond the Gates. Oh, I love that damn show. That's so popular. That's a guilty pleasure. Forever for Netflix, Paradise Hulu, and Reasonable Doubt for Hulu. Outstanding actor in the drama series, Forrest Whitaker. See, now I'm, Godfather of Harlem, because I got my Harlem and my Godfather of Harlem mixed up. Jabari Banks for Bel-Air, Michael Cooper Jr. for Forever, Morris Chestnut for Watson, and Sterling K. Brown for Paradise, which I'm actually looking forward to Paradise Season 2. That's a really good show. Outstanding actress in the drama series, Angela Bassett, 911. Amayatsi Coroneldi for Reasonable Doubt. Lovey Simone for Fever. Oh, sorry, Forever. Portina Miller, Power Book 2, Raising Kanan. Queen Latifah, The Equalizer. Well, I said give her to Queen Latifah because this is her last time to get one because, they canceled that damn show, unfortunately. Then we got supporting actor in the drama series, Adrian Holmes Belair, Otto Azando for The Diplomat, Caleb McLaughlin for Stranger Things, Jacob Lattimore for The Shy, and Wood Harris for Forever. Outstanding supporting actress in the drama series, Aisha Hines. I love me some Aisha Hines. For 911, Audrey McDonald, The Gilded Age, Karen Pittman, Forever. And then we got two people. Well, Karen Pittman's been nominated twice. One for Forever and one for The Morning Show on Apple TV. Forever's on Netflix. And then Nicole Bahari for The Morning Show. I was like wondering whatever happened to Nicole Bahari. Well, I've never seen The Morning Show, so I've heard good things about it. Let me see. I'll try to go because I don't want to go through all of these. Now, standing limited television series. They said G20 Prime Video series special or okay. They said series special movie because I was about to say G20 was not a series or a special. It was a movie. I think isn't G20 the movie with what the hell is that? Viola Davis when she was the president. She was playing like an action hero. That movie wasn't good, but I like some of the sequences and stuff in it. They got G20, Ironheart, Ruth and Boaz, Straw, and Washington Black. Outstanding actor in a limited television series, Brian Tyree Henry for Dope Thief, Giancarlo Esposito, Please Don't Feed the Children, Idris Elba, Heads of State, Tay Diggs, Terry McLellan presents His, Hers, and Ours, Tyler Lepley, Ruth, and Boaz. Okay, so that's pretty much a lot of who we had. Oh, they even nominated Brandy. Hold on. So they got Outstanding Actress in Limited Series, limited television series special movie. Brandy Norwood, Christmas Everybody, Dominique Thorne, Ironheart, Soraya from Ruth and Boaz, Taraji P. Henson, Straw, and Viola Davis. Okay, so yeah, it was G20. Because I was trying to remember. I was like, wait a minute. Straw was terrible, so no. I like Viola Davis. Who knows? Give it to Brandy, because I love me some Brandy. So the looker and the singer. So there you have it. Those are our list of nominations that I have so far. There's a full complete list, but we'll be here all day pretty much yapping about it. Hold on. So I say all this to say to you, what do you guys think of this story? See, this is why I hate because I'm doing where I gotta sit and multitask because I'm getting text messages, trying to text and do a damn show. But anyway, so let me know what you guys think of this story regarding the NAACP Image Awards. Who do you think? Well, I don't know. I didn't give you all the whole list, so I can't even ask y'all like who would you have liked to have seen that was a part of the list that was snubbed or whatever. But what do you think of the NAACP Image Awards in regards to the nominations that I mentioned? Whatever your thoughts are on this matter, let me know in the comments down below. Okay. Letitia Wright is okay as a supporting character, not to be at the helm. Exactly. She doesn't have like leading role appeal. Not in a superhero movie. You didn't want to know what you said. I did not even know. Know what? Let me know what you mean. She helped save it, Cleveland, with huge success. Then the Queen left us. Who helped save it? I still didn't think like she had that gravitas to help carry that movie. Angela mad she ain't getting a big check for yeah, I was mad that they killed. I was like, so you going to T'Challa and then you kill old Queen Ramonda? I was kind of tight at Ryan Coogler for that decision. I wonder if Angela Bassett was torn since Sinners and her film Impossible were up for some of the same awards. Wait, Angela Bassett did another movie I didn't know about? I love Ironheart. It's a great show. Shut up. The Hood will be a good villain as well for Black Panther. It's interesting to see which direction, excuse me, they decide to go in regards to this whole situation. But we'll just have to wait and see. And even if Damson Idris is going to be coming as T'Challa, how will they work that into the show? Oh yeah, you're right. You said Mission Impossible. She wasn't it. Duh. I don't know. I was like, but I think she was nominated for that movie. That movie wasn't good. And I like Mission Impossible, but that Final Reckoning movie was trash. The two big stunts they had in the film was cool, but other than that, the story wise with the entity and the whole AI thing and Esammer, I was like, look, Nicholas Hoult. The rumor was he was actually the villain in it, and then stepped down. You did the right thing by being like, "Nah, I'm good," and you went and did Lex Luthor. So I like the fact that you made the right decision and left Mission Impossible, and you ain't want to be the villain part. I wonder if because the movies kind of came out around the same time, sort of, if that was something, if that was the reason why he dropped out of playing the villain role. Okay, y'all. So now let's go to from TV to radio. We got some radio news. So I guess congratulations are in order for the kid Mero, the formerly of Desus and Mero. He's got himself a new gig. He over there at Hot 97 as their new host. Well, he's actually replacing Ebro in the morning with his very own morning radio show. So he'll be, I guess, competing over there with that tight ass Breakfast Club where they got all the men and Lauren LaRosa that works on the show. The three guys that they have over there. Charlemagne, Jess Hilarious, and DJ Envy, and then Lauren LaRosa. So it'll be interesting to see because I know like we got Mero over there, but I wonder if he's gonna have any co-hosts or whatever. But anyway, let's get into the article. So shout out to Hot 97 for their own tea. So New York's #1 multicultural station, regardless of language, today announced the launch of its brand new morning show, Hot 97 Mornings with Mero, premiering Tuesday, January 13th, which is my sister's birthday, by the way. Shout out to her. Airing weekdays from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The show will be hosted by the kid Mero, one of New York's most recognizable and authentic voices in media and culture. Hailing from the Bronx, the Kid Mero is a New York Times bestselling author, Writers Guild Award winner, and a variety comic to watch. He currently hosts Victory Light with the Kid Mero and co-hosts 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Carmelo Anthony. Now Mero brings his unmistakable energy, humor, and cultural perspective to mornings on Hot 97. So they said, Hot 97 has always been about representing the culture of New York, and Mero is New York, said Kujo Sogadzi, EVP of Content and Growth in Media at Media Co. He's authentic, hilarious, fearless, deeply connected to the community. Hot 97 Mornings with Mero is gonna set the tone for the city every morning and create must-listen moments for our audience. The announcement comes on the heels of the historic 2025 for Media Co., a year marked by surging revenue and performance that outpaced every broadcaster in the nation, underscoring blah, blah, blah. So, okay, whatever. That's a bunch of word salad. Here's the thing. I like Mero, but will I still be listening to the radio? No. I told y'all, I haven't listened to the radio since Wendy Williams left to go do the Wendy Williams talk show. So that was the last time I actually knew how to turn on the radio and listen to what the hell was going on over there. If I got even a radio that I could plug in that works, that I'll be able to listen to the radio. Like I don't even know how to get access to Hot 97, quiet as it's kept. So unless they're gonna put clips up on YouTube or whatever the case is, and I can catch like little clips of whatever he's talking about and see it that way, I'll check it out. I'm glad he got a gig. I'm hoping he's gonna be able to do what he got to do over there at Hot 97, especially with them overlords that's running that place, and they're still running radio like a freaking relic and not really adapting to the times. Because I'm gonna be honest. One of the things is I never really listened to Ebro in the morning when it was on the radio and they were a part of Hot 97. But when they were fired and they went immediately to YouTube, and well, Laura Stiles is on vacation at the time. So I would listen to Ebro and Rosenberg on the radio talking about when they were at the channel. They weren't giving away too much, but they were talking about certain, and they said down the road, they'll probably start, slowly they'll start spilling tea about what was going on behind the scenes at the radio station and everything, and how they didn't the people that were running Hot 97, the the new guards that were in there were pretty much running into the ground. They didn't like a lot of the business ideologies or things that they was doing, and a lot of people was talking behind the scenes about a lot of shenanigans that was going on. So if Mero was able to come in and do what he got to do to make that channel work, then that's great. I'm glad they didn't go with Funkmaster Flex, because Funkmaster Flex, to me, you're a DJ. Whenever you open your mouth, you sound like an idiot. I don't think you have morning radio. You're not that guy that I want to sit in, and if I'm waking up in the morning, just thinking like the average person, waking up in the morning, getting ready to go to work, the last thing I want to hear is some dude that sound like a woman on the phone or on the radio, sounding like a nasally ass butch queen, just bitching about whatever he be bitching about and trying to sound controversial. So let Flex stay where he at, spinning on the ones and twos, and then probably chiming in every now and again with stuff and his stupid bomb drops, and let people who actually have the ability to be a personality come in and do what they got to do. But I will say this, when it comes to Ebro and them in the morning, once they've made the switch to YouTube, I've been watching their stuff more than I've been watching when I watch them on the radio. They fit so much better doing the 1 hour show that they do on YouTube than they would when they were on the radio. That's why I said before, when I had someone hit me up and was like, "Oh, I want you to kind of do something for my radio station," and um, this was like a meeting I had a couple of years ago, and I was just like, "No, I didn't want to do it," because I was like, "This is what I like doing. I like getting on a channel and just the gift of when you got the gift of gab. I just want to talk. I didn't want to do things where I play music." And for most of the time, and I only get 10 minutes to pretty much give my opinion on stuff. It take me 10 minutes to get through one damn segment. It's depending on what it is, if I'm breaking stuff down and giving y'all all the layers and the nuances. So I was like, nah, radio was just not something for me that I wanted to do where I could just come on and play majority music and then come in and talk. I like the old idea of what I did with all digital radio, which was I did a whole lot of talking, and then with my little break, we played commercials, then we played a song or two, and then we came back and I did the rest of the show. So it was 1 hour yapping, commercials, two songs, one or two songs, and then I came back and talked for the rest the second hour. So I like that whole idea. If I could do that with YouTube, where I could just be like, play ads and then all of a sudden just come in and do like two videos or whatever of songs of my choice, and I could do something like that with YouTube without being flagged for copyright or whatever the case was, I would love to do something like that, but YouTube be mad annoying with that. So congratulations to you, Mero. And I'm definitely going to be listening tomorrow, because now the announcement has officially been brought up, if Ebro and them, Ebro, Rosenberg, and Stout, because they mentioned that they knew who was getting the gig last week, and they kept it secret or kept it quiet because I know it wasn't their place to come out and spill this personal whatever was going on behind the scenes. So I know they're going to wait until the official announcement, and I'm sure people will be in the comments. So what do you think about Mero getting the gig? They said that they were here. They liked the idea. They were here for it last week. So I'm going to be listening to, watching, because I watched them on YouTube. I'll be watching tomorrow to see what they got to say on this matter. So shout out to you, Mero. Shout out to y'all over there on Ebro in the morning. Ebro, Rosenberg, and Laura. Shout out to y'all and what y'all got going on. And sidebar, I never see that people was complaining, talking about, see, that's why y'all need to be in a studio together or whatever, because they doing everything like Zoom. Like you see them in doing like internet plugins or whatever. They're in 3 separate places. And they're working on that. They're working on getting a studio where they could be in a room together and do a show and that sort of thing. It's like y'all gotta give people time. Y'all don't realize, like, when it comes to this whole internet thing, it takes time to get to that point. It takes time to build, like, find a place where y'all can all come in with a table, you got the lights, you got all that other stuff hooked up, and be able to give y'all a proper show. In the meantime, we're just gonna stick with the internet. Thank God we got the internet, because we could do stuff like this. And that's why I say, even for me in the future, one of my dreams is to have my very own studio and do a show, instead of me just doing it out of my place with the ring light and the camera and the background and all other stuff. I would love to have that point of my own studio, like a Funky Dineva, what she's doing, and T.S. Madison, where they have their whole set up. But I would do it in my own house. Like, I would get a multi-bedroom home or apartment, whatever the case is, and I would turn one of the bedrooms into a studio and have one of my bedrooms be my bedroom. So, so that's what I'll be doing. I'm giving y'all a little taste of my plans when I get to that point, but I got to build up enough of an audience and accumulate enough money to make that happen. And y'all can help me make that happen down the road. So I'll put it out in the universe, it usually comes true. So that's why I was saying it out loud. But anyway, let me get off this conversation and let's move on. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Only before he get asked by the radio station to appeal. Oh yeah, because the funny thing was how they pretty much said that about why they got rid of Ebro and them in the morning, because they were being very critical of Trump and a whole bunch of other things. And these corporations, they're so worried about Trump going in on them and saying all kinds of crazy stuff that they will try to prevent any kind of slander against this administration. Because when you are bodied by a corporation, you really can't give your real opinion about stuff that's going on. That's why I had to laugh when they was talking about that whole shooting regarding Renee. And of course, Joy had to read her talking points from a cue card. We try to bring y'all the information. I said, please, y'all bring information approved by them people up at the top. Y'all don't really be going in the way y'all should be going in on what's going on in the world. Which is why I tell you I stick to my Sabby Sabs, my Kyle Kalinskis or whatever, and Breaking Points or my girl Crystal Ball and so many others, because they'll come in and tell you the truth. They're not going to give you like some watered down, cliff note version of what's going on in the world and not really addressing what's going on. So when these corporate sponsored media companies or whatever and these talking heads come up here and say, oh, we try to give you no, y'all don't. I see right through the bullshit. And I think real people with actual brains and thoughts see through it too. All right. Let's see. All right, y'all. So now let's before we get to all the heavy stuff, let's get to our final topic regarding, what's going on in entertainment and all this stuff with people making big moves. Congratulations to Mary J. Blige, because she's about to headline her very own residency, her very first residency. So yes, the cat is out the bag. MJB is heading to Sin City with her very own show called My Life, My Story. So, and also the other day, I don't think we talked about it on the show, but congratulations to her because she just secured another deal with Lifetime. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head regarding doing movies based around titles of her music or her songs or whatever the case is. I know I think the next movie is called Be Happy. I think I could be wrong. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know the movie stars Mekhi Phifer and Tisha Campbell. So she's making big moves over there at Lifetime, securing deals and stuff over there. And now she's about to headline her own residency instead of looking like she hated, because quiet as it's kept, when she did that last tour, she looked like she was over it. But what I didn't know was she filmed it all, the Madison Square Garden leg. I think she did 2 nights or something on it. I'm trying to remember. She performed at Madison Square Garden and filmed it, and then she showed it in theaters, wherever, similar to like Taylor Swift and all the other, and Beyonce. So anyway, let's get into the topic, the story. Shout out to Broadway World, who says, Grammy and Emmy Award winning and Oscar nominated Queen of Hip Hop Soul, MJB, has announced her first Las Vegas residency at Dolby Live at Park MGM. Mary J. Blige, My Life, My Story, the Las Vegas residency will kick off Friday, May 1st, 2026, with 10 dates scheduled through July 2026. Saying, quote, I've been so excited to announce this Vegas residency, said Mary J. Blige. Creating a show like this has been something I've always wanted to do. It's a chance to get my fans together from all over, different cities, states, and countries to experience something together. My life, my story will be just that, with some surprises for my fans that I've been there through it all. See you in May. Now, the dates for the residency are May 1st, 2nd, 6th, 8th, and 9th, as well as July 10th, 11th, 15th, 17th, and 18th of this year. All tickets will go on sale Friday, January 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Tickets can be purchased online, of course, wherever, I guess you go to your SeatGeek, you go to your Ticketmaster, whatever the case is. And they said all shows are scheduled to begin at 8 p.m. Now, City Advantage is the official pre-sale credit card of Mary J. Blige Las Vegas residency, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Okay. So, They said artist fans will have access to pre-sale beginning Wednesday, January 14th at 10 a.m. And they're giving you all the other stuff. So you know what? This is actually good for her. The fact that Mary who is a Grammy Emmy Award winning performer. She also has been nominated for an Oscar. She's also an actress, a producer, and an entrepreneur. That she would jump into doing something like a residency. It's not many shows. You're basically doing shows from the 1st and the 9th, and then 10 to the 18th. So her doing all those shows, that's good for her because I felt like I said before, when she was having to do the whole grueling traveling the world, that sort of, I don't know if she did any overseas dates, but when she was having to travel the world and do all those shows, to me, it just seemed like she didn't want to be up there performing. She was over it. She was exhausted, and she was ready to kind of like settle and do a little, something small or whatever. And I think a residency would be perfect. You get up there with the fashions, the fur coats, the thigh-high boots, and the crazy outfit, the cute little, you know, ghetto fabulous outfits that she's known for. And you got her dancers, and she's giving you the hits and giving you that vibe. I'm not expecting her to do all Jennifer Lopez showgirl type stuff, because I've heard a lot of people say great things about Jennifer Lopez's residency in Vegas. But to me, it's like Mary residency fits her perfectly. Jennifer, I know she be wanting to be thinking like she's Madonna or Taylor Swift, whatever, but no, residency suits her as well. You are a showgirl, stick to that. That's your wheelhouse. Let people come to you. You do a couple of dates. It allows you to also fulfill your fantasy of get up there and performing and being a showgirl, but also you get to get up there and I can go shoot a movie, I can do a TV show, I can do all other stuff, but also fulfill my ideas of being a musician. So shout out to you, Mary, because like I said, this is definitely the perfect thing for her to be out here doing, where she just do a couple of dates, get in, get out. And who knows, with the success of the residency, they'll probably add more dates like they do with the Backstreet Boys and so many others. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Are you here for Mary doing a residency in Vegas? Do you think it's way more fitting for her to do a show in Vegas than her actually having to do a regular concert, like traveling the world? Because it seemed like I said, she ain't like that grueling traveling schedule or whatever. And that takes its toll on your body the older you get. So I would think a residency would be better. Quiet as it's kept, I kind of wish Madonna would do a residency, but she don't want to do that. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Mary. It's a Mary. All right, y'all. Now let's get into this mess, because I just knew that this Paramount Warner Brothers situation was going to get ugly. And now it looks like the whiny ass bitches over there at Paramount are pretty much acting, they're pulling a Donald Trump. And it's like, because we're not getting our way, we're going to go and file a lawsuit and sue Warner Brothers Discovery, because they won't give us the keys to the kingdom. They won't sell to us. They won't sell us their studio. After you just acquired Paramount and can't even get that off the ground. Like, I totally get if y'all had a way of getting people to want to be interested in whatever it is y'all doing over there, but you haven't proven yourself to even be worthy of what you're asking. Because you're not getting your way, you're throwing a temper tantrum. So I'm wondering, is it that Larry Ellison is pulling these stunts because his nepo baby of a son? Yeah, I get that he loves movies. I get that he's a big movie fan. He's been producing a lot of films for years before y'all decided to get into the mogul space of owning a studio. There's a difference between producing films and running a studio where you could accumulate a lot of IPs and figure out how to develop product or whatever the case is and get those movies made. Paramount, you haven't proven yourself. You have nothing on your slate outside of, is Ready or Not Here I Come part of Paramount? I gotta look that up. Um, Outside of Scream, that's the only thing y'all got over there that I can think of off the top of my head. I don't care about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, even though I grew up on that franchise and that was my childhood. But the way y'all started revamping the whole Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I don't particularly care for it. Y'all got Sonic. Cares. I don't care, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who cares. But y'all haven't positioned yourselves to be in a place where y'all could be a power player wanting to buy this. To me, I've been saying this from the beginning. I truly believe that this whole thing since Trump became president, and this is all political, and I'm glad that it's showing. When I said this from the beginning, if I was saying it like I was crazy or whatever the case is, y'all was all trying to look at it from a Hollywood business standpoint. When a certain somebody's in the office and they've been showing a damn hand and not even trying to hide it, and you know that certain people's friends with certain people, and it looks like y'all trying to monopolize every studio so that way y'all can control the media and what kind of information comes out and what doesn't, because Larry Ellison apparently owns TikTok. I've heard that a lot of politics regarding what's going on over there at TikTok, telling people about the Palestine conflict or whatever, and the fact that the Ellisons are Zionists, how y'all suppressing people's videos or whatever the case is. I've had things where I posted things up about um what's going on with Israel and Palestine stuff. The audio's taken out, been muted, everything, and I've had to remove the video. Luckily, what I love about TikTok is that the minute you upload a video, it downloads to your phone, so I can take that video and just post it other places, and y'all can still get the video. You may not get it on TikTok, but you'll get it in other places. So I like the fact that my iPhone automatically downloads the videos to my phone after I've uploaded it to their server. So when you've been showing your hand in regards of you're making this more political instead of just showing that I'm a fan of movies, which Netflix is showing that. Netflix is basically saying, we want Warner Brothers Discovery to be a part of our library because we love film. I know some people be out here complaining about the length of time the movies is going to be in theaters. The rumor is it's 17 days. It has not been confirmed that they're going to do it for 17 days. I do believe that they will honor the whole 45-day, I think this was 45-day theatrical thing. And then I guess what will happen is after the 45 days, maybe to automatically go straight to Netflix where you can watch it there instead of the renting and all the other stuff. Even though I do think it should go maybe a week or two to rent on Prime or whatever the case is before it goes to Netflix, so that way people could have the choice of wanting to buy it. But nevertheless, Paramount has shown many a times that they've been trying to make all this political, especially when you got Glasses over there who's been ruining the news department. And so if they get their hands on Warner Brothers Discovery, which I will say this, Netflix only wants the movies and the TV stuff. They don't care about the media aspect. Paramount Plus wants everything, including the media. So it's like we buy everything. We want to buy also, we want CNN so they can suppress what they got, and so they can turn it, CNN into MAGA, which y'all don't really need to do much over there with that, because when you got Abby Phillips and that horrible ass show she's hosting, and then you got that smug ass what's his name? Scott Jennings over there, and y'all keep inviting people like Stephen Miller's wife and all these other idiots over there on that panel just so because the only volume they know is screaming. They don't know how to really have a genuine conversation. So when you're doing all that to rage bait people on social media, there's really no reason to try to turn CNN MAGA light. They already started doing it, even though they don't even own it. Even though Paramount don't have their hands on it. So I don't really, well, like y'all already know, I don't watch legacy media because legacy media is trash. But so I just want to go and put all of that out there before we get into the actual article, because I was just like, I knew my feelings was going to get, I was going to get in my feelings. Let me get it out. And while I go through this article, I'll probably still be getting in my feelings about some stuff. So yeah, so whiny nepo baby David Ellison, who is currently running Paramount into the ground, is suing Warner Brothers Discovery in a desperate move to block Warner's $72 billion sale to Netflix. So since it was announced that Netflix will be purchasing Warner Brothers Discovery, the David Ellison-led Paramount Skydance, which kicked off the bidding war for the studio in 2025, has persisted in trying to get WBD to back down from the deal, submitting a hostile offer shortly after the agreement was revealed. It was reported that Warner Brothers Discovery was concerned about some of the components of Paramount's 30 per share offer, approximately $108.4 billion overall, which is said to include financial backing from sovereign funds. Because remember at one point they were trying to get Saudi Arabia to help with the money. Now, if y'all talking about y'all billionaires, you got all the money, why are we reaching out to Jared Kushner? Why are we reaching out to Saudi Arabia to help you buy and scrape up money to buy a studio? You just got your hands on Paramount, which Donald Trump helped you do that. And this is how I know that Donald Trump is like trying to start some mess with all of this. Donald Trump just said in the interview I believe it was on Variety that I saw this on, if I'm not mistaken. I should have pulled this up when I was doing this earlier. So yeah, he basically said he is not he doesn't want Warner Brothers and um wait, they got what was it? He said that because I don't want to mess up exactly what he said, but I'm a paraphrase because I can't necessarily find it. So he basically said that he doesn't want Warner Brothers Discovery to merge with Netflix because of, whatever reason or whatever the case is. And he says if he can find a way to intervene in the situation of this thing happening, he will do that, which goes to show that they're all in cahoots with all this mess and they're trying to control all of what information is out there. So I don't know what this means for the future of if this Warner Brothers Netflix deal will go through. Because my thing is, if they need Donald Trump's approval to merge this, he's not going to do it. But catch him on a day when he's going through his dementia moment and he might sign the papers. Like we saw the dementia moment when in the middle of a meeting he was having to try to get these people to buy up that Venezuelan oil. He actually got his fat ass up, went to the window and started admiring the view. It's like, what are you doing? Aren't you the president? You're supposed to be being presidential. He's been doing everything being presidential. When you call this out, people get mad or whatever. I said, so y'all stupid people apparently like stupidity, apparently. This is fucking embarrassing. So all of that stuff. So with all that being said, let's get back into the article. So now they said that Paramount appeared to address some of the concerns expressed by Warner Brothers, but nevertheless, WBD's board of directors formally rejected the offer, and rightfully so. Now the situation is escalated into an unexpected point. On Monday, Paramount Skydance sued WBD with the intention to get the latter to disclose financial information regarding its deal with the streaming giant. Ellison also sent out a letter to shareholders posted in full by the Hollywood Reporter detailing his commitment to seeing his tender offer go through. Well, here's the thing, David. You're probably like one of those, like, this definitely reeks of people like these spoiled brats where it's like they've never heard the word no in their life. Or it's like a girl you keep trying to pursue. And when exactly are you going to get the point that Warner Brothers is just not into you. They're not into your deal. They don't want to merge with you. They don't want to go into business with you. There's no reason of whatever it was that you were trying to sell them on. They probably feel like y'all don't have the money to be able to accumulate to promise all these things that you want. And how you want to sit there and somebody that you want to see their records? Let's see y'all records. I feel like Warner Brothers needs to countersue and be like, let's see y'all financial information. Let's see how, like, where did y'all get this money to actually merge with this, with Paramount and all the other things that goes on with that? Countersue. And I'm sure Netflix will probably jump at the mix with, oh, hell no. So this is the game they want to play. Well, we're going to play it with you. We could be just as dirty. So if I was them, just get in the mud with his ugly ass and see how he goes and likes it. Now, as explained by Variety, the CEO expressed intentions to start a proxy fight. Further detailed by THR, Ellison plans to nominate his own slate of directors to vote against WBD's current agreement with Netflix. Is this even legal to do that? Now, they said, we are committed to seeing our tender offer through. We understand, however, that unless the WB board of directors decides to exercise its right to engage with us under the Netflix merger agreement, the Netflix agreement, this will likely come down to your vote as a shareholder meeting. We do not know whether that will be at WBD's upcoming annual meeting or a special meeting. The advance notice window for WBD's 2026 annual meeting opens in 3 weeks, and Paramount will nominate a slate of directors who, in accordance with their fiduciary duties, will exercise WBD's right under the Netflix agreement to engage on Paramount's offer and enter into a transaction with Paramount. In addition, Paramount will propose an amendment to WBD's bylaws to require WBD shareholders' approval for any separation of global networks. If WBD calls a special meeting ahead of the annual meeting to vote for the Netflix agreement, Paramount will solicit proxies against such approval. These actions, coupled with our tender offer, ensure that you get the final decision. Oh, please. Now, this is just some whiny Nepo baby bullshit. You people irritate my entire spirit. Now, Ellison further stated that Warner Brothers had avoided a deal with his company, but was unable to call Netflix's $82.7 billion under offer financially superior to Paramount's. I don't think they have to tell you anything in regards to that. It's about that you felt like Netflix's $82.7 billion offer wasn't financially superior to yours. They don't have to tell you, prove anything. It's either they want to merge with you or not. They liked Netflix's deal better. What part of that is not that you're not understanding? It's just like you are just mad because you're not getting what you want because y'all trying to go in. You probably felt like, well, Trump gave us all we need to get with this situation. Now we got to try to monopolize all these other studios, and you're not getting what your way, and you're afraid that maybe Trump is going to yell at you or whatever the case is, and oh my God, we have to hurry up and get it because we're not getting it. And it's like, and then you hear all of a sudden Trump is jumping in with his opinion on it. And it's like, why are you jumping in on this? You still got egg on your face about out here assassinating an American citizen, with ICE doing what they doing. And then I heard the story about the guy who was in ICE, that closet queen that got a grinder account apparently because that was spilled all over social media, that there were people who were in masks that helped him move out of his house. One person said that they thought he was a botanist. They didn't even know he worked for ICE. So the guy was out here being secretive about what his job was. Now, if you were so proud of the job you have because you working in ICE, why are you keeping it a secret? But I digress. So now they said Ellison also said that his goal in the latest effort is to seek an agreement that will best benefit WBD shareholders. Well, the best agreement that benefits them is the Netflix deal. So why are we still going back and forth on this? And he goes on to say, we do not undertake any of these actions lightly. Make no mistake, our goal remains to have constructive discussions with WBD's board to reach an agreement that is in the best interest of WBD shareholders. The best interest is not you. They're just not into you. They don't want you. Move on. Jesus. It's like somebody who just like you gotta literally hit them upside the head with a sledgehammer for them to fucking get it. So, in addition to all that, because I'm tired of even talking about that word jargon, all that mess over there with them. Let's get to what Warner Brothers Discovery had to say because they clapped back on the situation. So Warner Brothers Discovery is clapping back at Paramount Skydance's ridiculous lawsuit seeking more financial details on WBD's deal with Netflix and said Paramount continued campaign on to try to convince Warner Brothers shareholders that its $30 share offer is superior as an attempt to distract investors. In a statement, WBD said Paramount's lawsuit filed Monday in Delaware Chancery Court ain't no hateration or holleration. This chancery was meritless. The company said the Paramount, led by Chairman and CEO Nepo Baby David Ellison, has yet to raise the price of its offer to acquire WBD in its entirety. Saying, quote, despite 6 weeks and just as many press releases from Paramount Skydance, it has yet to raise the price to address the numerous and obvious deficiencies of its offer, WBD said in a statement on Monday. Instead, Paramount Skydance is seeking to distract with a meritless lawsuit and attacks on a board that has delivered an unprecedented amount of shareholder value. In spite of its multiple opportunities, Paramount Skydance continues to process a transaction that our board unanimously concluded is not superior to the merger agreement with Netflix. So, and they started this whole thing of wanting to acquire Warner Brothers weeks after they closed their deal with Skydance to merge with Paramount Global. So you've only been in partnership with Paramount Global since August. So 5 months you've had Paramount under your situation. Why isn't it that you can't just focus on turning Paramount into the Zionist warmongering network station channel studio that you want to do with all the bullshit you got going on? Focus on that. Why are you trying to go and instead of y'all focus on what y'all got to do over here and actually get people to do what they got to do, like trying to get people to come up? You already got the Duffer Brothers over there. So figure out what you're gonna have them do with them over on that show. You already lost Taylor Sheridan. He done went over to NBC Universal. I know his other shows are still there, but he's gonna start newer stuff with NBC Universal. Why not focus on building Paramount into whatever psychotic piece of crap studio that you want to turn that into, and stop trying to buy up everything else. So, like I said before, if they're okay with, if they prefer the Netflix deal over yours, because Netflix is like, all we want is, we just want the movie stuff and we want, you know, the TV stuff. So we could probably watch Friends on Netflix again or whatever. So we, an ER, who knows, that could be on there too. So it's like they want to be able to acquire all that other stuff so they can have that over there. Let the people do what they do, and that's that. Paramount gets their hands on it, it's going to be firings. They're going to be trying to turn Warner Brothers into a mess. We already got a lot of really good movies coming out this year for Warner Brothers. From Warner Brothers, one of them I just saw a trailer for earlier. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. Was it Lee Cronin's The Mummy? That new trailer that came out. Okay, first of all, that teaser was creepy as hell, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so in, because I, for the longest, always wanted to see a scary mummy movie, not the Brendan Fraser action comedy, whatever you want to call that. It was like a gumbo of all these different genres, and don't even get me started on that horrible ass Tom Cruise one. But the Mummy one, it looks pretty good. So, like I said before, if they get their hands on something like Warner Brothers, like they're doing with Paramount, because y'all haven't had no hits from Paramount, I don't think. Well, yeah, because Mission Impossible, that movie flopped. Um, we wouldn't get a movie that takes a chance like The Mummy. You wouldn't get another Sinners or a Companion or a Final Destination Bloodlines or Weapons or things like that. Warner Brothers have been taking a lot of risks because you have Abdi and DeLuca over there who are making these really cool decisions in regarding of the type of movies that they're accumulating and greenlighting. So I've been liking what Warner Brothers has been doing so far. And if Netflix is going to allow them to just continue to do what they're doing, I know everybody's afraid of the whole what the future holds for like streaming, whatever. I just feel like we need to figure out how to adapt to the times and stop worrying about and thinking that, oh, the theaters is dead. Theaters are not going to be dead. People are always going to go to movies and see it. I already played clips of the thing with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, what he had to say. It's like, yeah, we're of the era of cinema, but we also have to adapt with the times and realize that the times, they are changing, and we got to adapt, or we just get left behind. So yeah, I'm sure there's more that will be going on with this. I will definitely be keeping abreast of this story as it develops. But this is just giving Paramount, y'all some sore ass losers. You can't take a hint. Nobody wants you. Just deal with Paramount. Try to do what you got to do with that studio, and let Netflix and Warner Brothers go through with their deal. I'm really hoping and praying that they don't have to get any kind of signature or whatever from Donald Trump to make this merger work, because everything with that man is an ulterior motive. The man is self-centered and selfish. That brain is rotting in real time in front of all of our eyes. And I just hope that they'll be able to make this go through. If not, I hope they'll be able to hold off on this merger until that fucker is out of the office. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Paramount also has Star Trek, but due to their antics, I'm not renewing my streaming subscription, so I'm not seeing the new series. I'm also concerned that they'll now water down. Yeah, because um, I saw that they have that new, what's it called, Starfleet Academy or something or another. I did see the trailer for that. It looked okay. The kid that they have on there, where he was an orphan and he grows up, I was like, oh, he cute. I was like, who that? Um, but and I like oh my god, who's the actress that was in there? The one that got the Lex Luthor P, and then they blew her up in um she's in the show. I forgot her name, but yeah, she got blown up in, what was it? Was it Batman versus Superman, or was it, no, it was Man of Steel, I think, that she was in. God, please don't stalk me. Mission Implosion. That's literally what that channel is becoming. An implosion within itself. They really are trying to dominate media messaging to undo diverse messaging, the media consolidation they are trying to do. Yeah, absolutely. And if people can't bring that up and see it for what it is, then you choose to be obtuse, because that's exactly what has been what is happening. I've been noticing it for a while, and now when it took people seeing what they did over there with 60 Minutes and all the other stuff, what they started seeing, what Paramount started doing with 60 Minutes and all these other news stories. Now they got this other moron over there that can't read a teleprompter and is making the show about him. once it took people seeing that to be like, yeah, I've been trying to tell y'all. I've been saying it for the longest on this show. But a lot of times the things with me, I always go back. One of the things that have never steered me wrong is my gut. And a lot of times when I read something, I can see it what it is, and I just say it out loud. And it turns out it comes true because yeah, it's like they're making it so obvious that they're trying to buy up all of our media. They want everything to be they want to control all the media to be able to say what it is that this is what they want you to believe out here. They want to take control of the fact they don't like the fact that we're getting a lot of our information about what was happening with this Israel Gaza conflict. That was all getting out there. People were spreading real information, whereas the media no longer was having control over blinding us with the Zionist talking points. And now that social media is coming to place, you have the Republicans and you have Democrats like Hillary Clinton and so many others who are running out here with these Zionist talking points, talking about that we're getting our information from the TikToks or all these other. Well, they only mentioned Twitter because I guess that's current and that's the trendy thing to jump on. But we're getting all information, and we shouldn't be allowed to. They need to get control of that because I've heard a lot of the Zionists talking about, especially a lot of them Israel people talking about, oh yeah, we need to get control of the media because we're getting a lot of stuff is getting out there that they don't want us to know about. In so many words. When animated films still bring in $1 billion, the theaters will stay open. Exactly. So I was like, they're gonna have to turn it into event situations. So like when you when like if any of animated film, superhero film, any type of big type of movie like a Jurassic World or whatever the case is, people are gonna go to the movies and see that. People are gonna go to see Dune in theaters. People are gonna see Avengers Doomsday. People are gonna go see those type of films. Your phone was what? Your phone was a PPP loan? I say, Robert, wait, you wasn't in here the whole time? I guess not. I didn't even notice. I guess it was like, I just been so busy talking, I haven't been paying attention to like who's been in for the most part. You said my phone is, we got to take it to the doc. Or you might have to who knows? You might have to get a new one. You said limited Dr. Doom popcorn bucket. I'd be interested to see what those popcorn buckets are going to look like when they come out. The only popcorn bucket, I only bought one popcorn bucket, and that was when um then what was that? I think it was Alien Romulus came out with a popcorn bucket and they had like the face hugger on the bucket. That was the only one I bought. I would love to buy more, but it's like, where am I gonna put it? So I just didn't buy any. You said I had to use work tablet for an hour. It was with oh yeah, I hate with the stuff where um I gotta sit through commercials. But the funny thing was because I didn't even know this, I was considering doing the whole YouTube premium thing, but they said that you can't even see your analytics and stuff for your show if you subscribe to. I think Amon Wiggins said that. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm just gonna have to stick with the free situation because I do constantly I'm checking the analytics and stuff for YouTube doing a show and all. All right, y'all. So let's get back into the show. I guess we're gonna have to get into some more heavy news. Let's talk about this Matt Prokop person. So apparently, he's a former child actor who got caught up in some child porn charges. Well, his ex-girlfriend is speaking out, and she said she was in an abusive relationship with him for years after he was arrested on CP charges. So now she said, after many years of abuse, the effects are still very real and continue to impact my life. This is what Prokop's ex Lucy, who claims to be the alleged victim of the charges, told Page Six in a statement on Sunday. Right now, I'm taking time to heal privately with the support of close friends and family. Taking this time does not lessen the seriousness or harm of his actions, Lucy, who was previously engaged to Prokop, added. Being young myself, I truly did not understand the severity of the case. Taking the time does not lessen the seriousness or harm of his actions. Now, as Page Six previously reported, Prokop was arrested and is currently being held without bail following multiple charges, including alleged possession of CP. Child, what the hell is wrong with you? Now, TMZ reported that the High School Musical 3 senior year star, who's 35, was arrested and taken into custody on December 24th, 2025. So he's been in there since Christmas Eve in Victoria County, Texas. Prokop is also facing a charge of resisting arrest, as well as 2 counts of resisting arrest, search, or transportation. More than a decade ago, Prokop's ex, Sarah Hyland, accused the former of verbal and physical abuse during their 5-year relationship. Oh, yeah, I remember hearing that story. Per court documents obtained by Page Six in May of 2014, the Modern Family actress, also 35, claimed Prokop slammed her into a vehicle and choked her during an argument. Now, after the Geek Charming co-stars broke up, Prokop allegedly threatened to unalive Hyland's dog and burn down her house. I had somebody ask me, sidebar, why do you keep saying unalive? Like, I've been saying the K word and all this stuff. And I said, well, you don't do what I do. You are on social media. Y'all can say KILL and all that other mess. When you are doing commentary and things of that nature, there are certain buzzwords that you cannot say on social media without them demonetizing you, suppressing your video, where you only get like 3 people that sees it when it should be pushed out to the thousands. So I have to usually watch when it comes to certain words what I say on here. So that's one of the reasons why I use certain words to get past the censors. Now, they said she was subsequently granted a restraining order against her ex, and Prokop was ordered to stay away from Hyland for 3 years. Now, after Prokop was arrested for allegedly assaulting his girlfriend in 2024, Hyland revealed that she was still triggered by her past abusive relationship, probably because he's a fellow actor, and you would hear these stories out in the news and or media, and then of course now you got to deal with possible PTSD, because it's like, did I heal from this? Did you go to a therapist? Speaking of which, did he go see a damn therapist? Because where's all of this stemming from? Like, where did you get to a point where you around here beating up on your girlfriends? You interested in looking at CP? You're looking at children being, people having sex with kids, which I really don't understand the pleasure people get into, fornicating with people who are underage. I don't get it. Maybe there's beauty in youth or whatever the case is, or maybe you got that kind of vibe in your head. I don't know. I always try to get inside the mindset of people who are a little out there with the buses. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've always, as Virgos, we like to analyze every little situation that is going on, be it why people do the things that they do, serial killers, abusers, things like that. So who knows? Maybe in my life I was like a therapist, or what do you call those people, like in that movie Mindhunter, or a TV show, like an analyzer of killers and that sort of. Maybe I was like that in a past life. I don't know, but I've always found that stuff relatively interesting. So she said the PTSD stays in that abused place of your soul where you think it's your fault the whole time and you could have done better. You could have gotten out sooner. You could have told people. This is what she told Variety at the time. Hyland also admitted that she may never fully be healed from her abuse. Well, that takes time. That's a one day at a time type situation. It's sort of like when you're an addict. It's a one day at a time situation. It's something you always have to constantly work at. So when you come from a place where you've never been abused by your parents, whatever the case is, but then you get caught up in that type of relationship, and then your man is out here doing these things to you, where it doesn't just start out that first night we dating, he smacks the crap out of her. It always starts where you start to strip away at their humanity. So the verbal abuse and all the other stuff starts, the gaslighting, all those things. And once you stripped away all of that from that person, then the physical starts. So it's unfortunate that it had to get to this point where he had to go through multiple girlfriends to get finally his ass locked up. Because they don't like pedophiles in prison. So, sir, you better hope you last. Whatever. I don't know if they got him in solitary confinement, but it would have been like, well, then again, I really hope they would get the help that he needs. But and still, even with all of this stuff, I'm sure there'll be more details that come out, like what kind of what did they find? So I'm gonna definitely keep abreast of the story as it develops. Because they said, yeah, they found CP in this, I guess, in files, whatever the case is. But I want the details. Like we got the Austin Wolf details. We need the details on the heterosexual side too. So I'll say all this to say I'll definitely keep abreast of the story as it develops. But were you guys shocked to hear that this former child star, you know, abusing his girlfriends, never seemed like he never got the help that he should have gotten, and now he's out here arresting on having stuff regarding children in sexual situations. I was trying to figure out how I was going to word that. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right, y'all. So now let's get into this next topic. And let's talk about L.A. Reid. So, y'all, I mean, I meant to bring this up the other day, but I never got around to it. But now I guess we got a conclusion on it, so we could talk about it. So, yeah, last week I remember hearing stories that L.A. Reid was set to go to trial, in regarding these accusations that he SA'd Drew Dixon, who was a former Arista executive, and she said that he assaulted her back in 2001. So they were supposed to go to trial. You know, L.A. Reid is somebody who is legendary in the music industry. He is he has been behind so many iconic people, such as well, he's got a lot of credit. So Method Man and Mary J's classic "I'll Be There for You," whereas "You're All I Need to Get By," but they used that sample. First of all, that was my song, and Mary was hiding Cooter Brown in that damn music video. I'm sure Method Man was too. But nevertheless, so he's been behind him. I mean, them, Usher, that sort of thing. Well, apparently he settled the SA lawsuit against Drew Dixon. And then they said that on the day their Manhattan federal court trial was scheduled to begin. So when they were supposed to start the trial, I guess they pulled in and was like, look, LA wants to make a deal. Here's what we got. And then she's got to come in with her counter offer, and they meet somewhere in the middle. So Reid's attorney, Imran H. Ansari, said in an email, Mr. Reid has amicably resolved this matter with Ms. Dixon without any admission of liability. We are happy to report that this settlement has been reached, the terms of which are confidential, Dixon's lawyer, Kenya Davis, said outside the courtroom Monday afternoon. So does this mean that she can't bring this up ever again because she settled? They said Drew has been one of the most courageous and outspoken supporters of survival of SA, David added. Her advocacy, including her instrumental role in advancing the Adult Survivors Act, has helped shift the balance of power in the music industry, creating a path to justice for survivors. Davis's comment came shortly after Dixon, several members of Dixon's family, and other attorneys left the courthouse. While the trial was slated to start this morning, the group could be seen conferring in the courthouse cafeteria for several hours. Now, they said Dixon smiled when they announced the the settlement. I am deeply grateful to my mother and children for their enduring love and support, Dixon said following Davis's announcement. Dixon, who worked as VP of A&R at Arista Records, sued Reid in November 2023, claiming that he started harassing her almost immediately after he became CEO in 2000. This harassment, Dixon alleges, was swiftly followed by SA. Dixon insists in court papers that she rejected Reid's unwanted overtures and accused him of trying to derail her career in response. He even thwarted her attempts to sign and keep artists, including John Legend, her suit alleges. I hear that legendary story about the fact that she was really trying to push to get John Legend signed to her, and then Ellie Reid basically was like, no. What was I? Okay, then it said Reid has denied Dixon's claims in court papers. Dixon alleged that the disgraced hip hop mogul Russell Simmons. She also said that Russell Simmons R-worded her in a 2017 New York Times article, and in her account alleged that Reid harassed her. Reid did not address her complaints directly, but apologized if his words were misrepresented per the Times. I can't stand when people say, "Oh, if my words were misconstrued, I apologize." It don't sound like that's what you meant, because it's like you sidestepping with some BS. And L.A. Reid, child, I thought that man was a homosexual. You out here abusing women? Another thing was I believe it about I believe this with L.A. Reid, just like I believe allegedly, like I believe the tea regarding Russell Simmons. Because look, Kimora had to go and drag his ass when they was going through it recently, and she was like, well, why you hide in another country? If you big and bad, why you hiding another company? Why you in Bali? Bring your ass back to New York and fight these cases. Because you ain't been supporting, giving no child support for your children. I mean, I guess they old enough at this age, but she was like, "Yeah, I'm the one that's a single mother out here." And then he accused her of a bunch of other stuff. Okay, hold on. So we got further details. So Dixon claimed in her suit that Reid started harassing her not long after she started at Arista in 2000. She alleged that the initial inappropriate behavior included Reid asking her to attend industry events with him and his wife and assist them in finding an apartment. Dixon said that in the suit that she felt it was odd request, but thought perhaps he was planning to use his home as an extension of his office. So she agreed. Dixon arrived at their one apartment showing and learned Reid's wife was not there. During the entire afternoon of showings, Mr. Reid made flirtatious comments. It was so pervasive that it caused the realtor to comment to Miss Dixon privately that he was left with the impression that Mr. Reid was in love with her, according to court papers. I would have been like, look, now maybe what she probably had was that what do you call it? The Oh my God, the realtor. I don't know why I couldn't think of the damn word. The realtor, I would be like, oh, let's call him to the stand, find out where he at, and bring him to the. Lawyers, they're good at tracking, or the Kalinda Sharmas of the law firms couldn't go and y'all know the good wife. When you go and find that person and serve them, be like, okay, we're gonna have to have you testify. And then this whole, even though it was like 20 some odd years ago, but still. So they said in 2001, Dixon wound up alone with Reid on an airplane and Reid to a company gathering to Puerto Rico. She believed having other Arista executives would be going with them, according to court papers. Reid, she contends, began flirting with her right away. Dixon claims she went to the bathroom to buy time waiting for the other executives to arrive. She exited the restroom and found herself alone with Reid. He asked her to sit next to him to go over materials for the presentation, and then he began playing with her hair, kissing her, and digitally penetrating her not her vulva, child, without her consent. She contends in her suit. Miss Dixon spent the rest of the flight in a daze. When she came back to New York City, Dixon attempted to dodge his overtures without offending and upsetting him, but he retaliated, according to the lawsuit, embarrassing her in front of others or otherwise being curt and unprofessional. In a few months, Reid insisted that Miss Dixon join him for a ride to drop her at home so they could continue to discuss work. Dixon thought nothing would happen since there was a driver in the vehicle. Reid, however, began to grope and kiss Miss Dixon, who squirmed and pushed him away as Mr. Reid's driver stared straight ahead and would again digitally penetrate Miss Dixon's vulva. What is up with him and the vulvas, chair? But at least he know where it's at. Um, M the funny thing is she was like, "Oh, no, I don't think anything will happen because of the driver." I'm like, "Sir, I mean, sis, the driver works for him. So I'm sure that them drivers, them people that work behind the scenes, they've seen it all. When they working for that person, they know that money is good, they're gonna look the other way." So maybe she was naive to think that, but the driver worked for LA Reid, so you weren't going to be protected under that. But I understand, like, you were thinking something different. It was 25 years ago. We don't know. We can't say we know then what we know now. Now we know what we could have known back then because times was different. But look, she got her coins. They settled. He did it. I truly believe he did it. Um, Then they say following the settlement, Dixon said that she was looking forward to getting back to what she loves, saying music has always been my greatest source of comfort and joy. Even as a kid, I had an uncanny knack for predicting the next cool artist or album. The more eclectic, the better. That was always a gift I had too, where I was able to predict the next cool artist or album. Like I would always get that gut feeling. Okay, that bitch is gonna be a well. I'm just saying bitch in general. That bitch is gonna be a star. I'm talking both genders. And it said, while I have focused on SA advocacy in recent years, I have never stopped fighting for my place in the industry. I have big ideas for future projects that will be guided by creativity and integrity. And so, shout out to you, Drew. Hopefully, you get to continue what you've been doing. LA Reid, you're a disgraced piece of shit. I do believe every word she said because a lot of you moguls in this industry are just nasty, like to control situations and always want to be out here flexing your power and wanting to have always wanting what you can't have. And you couldn't have her, so you decided to abuse her. And my thing is, if you ain't do all these things, why did you settle? So it smells guilty to me. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? I mean, the thing is not going to trial. They settled, which basically says guilty in my eyes. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I don't know. You said I had to use oh yeah, I read that. My screen's always been freezing. I don't know what's been going on with that. I rebooted the computer. I've been doing all this stuff, but lately it's just like I don't know why. Um, it's like when I go to the pictures, if I go and I read articles or whatever, the the thing is it's been freezing a lot. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe I'm gonna have to send a message to maybe it's StreamYard. I'm gonna do to them like I don't know what's going on, but y'all need to fix whatever's going on with this whole freezing situation. LA Reid, I can't stand Pebbles' shady ass either. So is the ex-husband of Pebbles, in fact, producing her with Babyface is how they met. So if he's any degree gay, he has long been working hard to keep up the mask. Or he's just a piece of shit. I don't know. I always got a little like something going on with that man. But anyway. All right, y'all. So now we're flying through this show kind of quick today. We got 3 more topics before we done with today's show. So before we get to our final 3, if you could please do me a solid and hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please and thank you. Now, without further ado, let's get into some drag race drama. So apparently, I totally forgot about this because last week I watched a clip that did not make it on the Roscoe's episode on YouTube because they want you to pay $2 to watch the whole uncensored situation. But the clips were making the rounds all over TikTok, and one of the clips that they had was I totally forgot about this. Mistress Isabel Brooks and Willam was in a bit of a beef because when Mistress was on All Stars, what was it, 11? No, All Stars 10. When she was on the last season of All Stars, Mistress was being messy Isabel Brooks, which we was living for. We was living for the drama. We was living for the shenanigans. I was cackling and giving my commentary. But I think that Willam, in so many ways, was going a step too far in a lot of the stuff that she was saying, which prompted Mistress to have to check her multiple times on social media. So with all that being said, then them two ended up being the guests, the co-guests on the season premiere of Roscoe's Tavern, which is a show that they do in which is like a watch party that they do for RuPaul's Drag Race. Caramel DeMille, Batty Davis, and Naysha Lopez. I had to remember all their damn names. Are the co-hosts of the show. So she had made a comment about Fifi. Oh, well, the artist formerly known as Fifi, she goes by Jaremi Carey now. She don't do the whole Fifi O'Hara thing no more, which it was only a matter of time before Fifi, well, see, now I'm going to be calling her that because that's what I know of her. So it caused Jeremy to jump on the lot and go in and let have on what Willam had to say on Roscoe's. So what I'm going to do is I will play y'all the clip of what she said on Roscoe's, and then I'm gonna give y'all all the stuff regarding the tweets that we had, because I stay coming with receipts on this damn show. So we're gonna come back with all of that and talk. Please hold.
I was speaking as an armchair quarterback, like an NFL commentator, watching a show and critiquing a performance and behavior, which I've never met the girl. Now I've met her. It's been fine. I can work with anybody. She's a professional. We're having a great time. We're next to each other. I said something which I probably shouldn't have said, which was, if I was on a reality show with her, I would have bopped her. And I can understand how that sounds like a violent threat to somebody. But when I was on a reality show, I planned to bop a girl to get sent home, Fifi, if they didn't send me home. So I was literally repeating the same thing that I've said for a decade. I can understand why it sounded pointed because it was at her, but I'm not on a reality show with
receipts
her.
Right now. What is this?
I do want to say one thing, and then we're for real gonna squash it.
Yeah.
So let me play this real quick.
Random question. Do you think I have anything to worry about coming there with Mistress's friends or anybody trying to jump me?
In Houston, yeah.
Okay, so here's my thing. You spent the whole time talking so much about me, and you said so much about me personally as it pertains to my career. And I just want to give one message to everyone watching, whether it's someone that you've worked with before, someone who's a boss, or someone who's a friend, or someone you have no idea. how you allow people to talk to you and treat you is how they're going to greet you when they actually meet you. And today she was on Hush Mode and she was very nice. And because I told her how I would like to be treated and like to be respected. So the same lesson I told Sugar and Spice, if you allow people to talk shit to you, they're gonna treat you like shit. After I made my video and addressed her one time, she came correctly. I have no issue with you. I think that you're an amazing person in the drag race stratosphere, in the drag stratosphere. I just don't appreciate how you talked about me personally. So hopefully we can move forward, and it really is no tea. I'm not gonna jump you. I should slap the shit out of you, but I'll let you make it.
Honestly, I would do the same thing if a bitch was talking about me like that on a TV show without ever meeting me, you know? So I get it.
And you know what?
The last time I went to jail, I got a Rolex, and I'm not fighting no more. It's not worth it. I'm not taking the time off. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to use your hands when you can use your words, and you know that once you've been to jail.
And do. Okay, so, yeah, sidebar. First of all, where did Mistress get that clip of Willam actually asking if I show up at this thing, am I going to get jumped by Mistress's people? I want to know who sent her that clip, because I'm like, I don't think that Willam would have called her and asked her that. She sent that to somebody. Somebody was being messy and sent her that damn voice message. I live for it, though, the fact that we got to hear it. But regarding of that, okay, so now y'all got the clip or whatever, and he was talking about that she was going to bop Fifi, right? So, of course, Jaremi jumped on the line and was like, say what now? So, y'all already know the reason how it all started from why Willam and Jaremi did not get along. It was because they were on RuPaul's Drag Race, what was it, season 4? Season 4 together. Fifi did not like Willam. Damn, I want to play all these clips, but I don't know if, well, hopefully we don't get demonetized, like Property of World of Wonder. I do want to play y'all one of the videos. Hold on, because this shit was iconic. Look, I'll just have to edit it out if I need to, but yeah, let's play it.
We covered. It took you, what, 8 episodes?
Ding, ding, ding. Points for everybody.
You don't have any talent. This is a show for talented people, not people that know how to buy fucking shoes. You should not be here.
Your tone seems very pointed right now.
Dita.
That's that. I'm glad your beard is fine.
Yo, Dita is a cackle to me. And then there was this clip because this was Fifi basically spilling tea like, oh, you was behind the scenes breaking rules on stuff, which we all kind of found out that, yeah, that's what she was doing. And it eventually resorted in her being fired from the show. Let's play that clip.
I had a rough morning. Today I feel a little off kilter. I think that's a side effect of something personal I'm going through.
Why did you have a rough morning?
I had a rough morning because of personal issues.
No, your personal issues are something that you shouldn't have been doing in the first place.
Okay.
And you shouldn't even be here because of that.
Okay. Well,
in our freaking contract, you're breaking rules and your ass is still here.
All right, cool.
No, these are rules that were in our contract that state that you should not break these, and your ass is still here. It's not fair.
If you're gonna try to air my laundry, which I've already aired, it's been washed, dried,
you didn't air
and returned.
nothing. You sit there and try to play a perfect person, and it's bull. You're a fake ass bitch. I don't like you, and you shouldn't even be here. Your ass should have been kicked off a long time ago when you sat there and were breaking rules. You don't deserve to be here.
Okay.
Come with me.
It's so shady.
Fifi and Dita walked out on Willam.
And did. Okay, so now y'all got a little catch up on the situation. They didn't particularly like each other when they were on the show. And yeah, Fifi, no shade, was repulsive during her season. Just full of anger and full of vitriol and all this other stuff. And I was living for the fact that Willam was a little, bitchy towards her with a lot of her very okay. That's your opinion seems very pointed. Like, it was just, I was living for the shade. But yeah, in regards to the whole thing with you and Mistress, I do feel like, yeah, you was being the Stephen A. Smith of drag. You was running out here making comments about people that you don't know, or if you were well versed on. And we know that you have your issues with World of Wonder and RuPaul and stuff, and rightfully so, and how you feel with him and Matthew and that whole situation, because that's your friend, and you feel like whatever how you feel towards RuPaul. But to me, I felt like it wasn't right for you to try to clean up this whole situation with Mistress because you stuck your foot in your mouth when you met your match, and then you decided to throw Jaremi under the bus because you were trying to save face. So with all that being said, Jaremi decided to jump on the line and go in and let have on Willam in regards of what she had to say on social media. So she said, "Bop me. That's news to me, LOL." She said, "Fun fact, years ago before therapy and leaving an unhealthy place mentally and physically, I went back home to visit after RuPaul's Drag Race, and this Sharon fan was at my best friend's house talking shit. Myself and my friends told him, yo, chill, Jaremi is crazy and he is being nice right now. You're pushing it. He threw a drink and baby, I jumped across the table and put his head through the wall and busted his face open. He never tried me again. I'm glad for Willam's sake, their plan didn't go through." So it's like, this is why I be telling y'all need to stop messing with these people. When you come from a place of you've had any kind of trauma, whether it's abuse or whatever the case is, you don't go trying these girls out here because you never know. Like, some of these people out here, I remember I posted a post where this guy was like, normalize telling gays that it's not okay. I can't remember the whole thing, but I'm paraphrasing. Normalize saying that it's wrong to be gay. And somebody said, normalize telling straight people we will beat your ass. So don't think that because we homosexuals that we punks. I mean, we may be punks in regards of the term of gay, but as far as like we just gonna sit there and let you whip our ass because that's the presentation they want to put in media. Oh no, you don't know a lot of us because we fights out here, especially me growing up in Brooklyn, New York. Like, ain't no punk up in this situation. We fight. So, Jaremi had to beat a bitch ass, and she did that. So then she went on to say this. I don't think anyone should really want to plan to bop anyone, especially someone who had to fight from abuse from their dad growing up, their abusive exes, and surviving when they lived on the streets for a bit. I fought to survive sometimes. It wasn't the same, and the outcomes were often graphic with people in hospitals. He added that he's a changed person, sober through therapy, and able to get Willam's word, just run off my back and laugh. So also, Willam went and responded and said plan B and put OP in parentheses as in plan Bob, plan B, never came into play because they DQ'd me right on time. Lucky for me, because the world got to see me win a singing challenge versus some others flop while wearing feathers. I gave them. So also lucky for you because when I went to jail, it was for battery too. It would have been a KO. Well, child, I'm sorry, but Willem, I don't think you can fight. I like you. I like how unfiltered you are when it comes to the drag race commentary. But just like I feel like this whole beef with Tokyo Tony and Kaya will read you down. But if it comes to a fight, Kaya getting her ass beat. Just like you good with the words and all other stuff. When it comes to the fisticuffs, I don't see you winning. Not against Jaremi. And there's no shade. I'm just saying. So then Jaremi went on to say, then when I got arrested and I was in jail for a month, we ended up running to each other in jail. LMFAO, small world. So it was in the same jail. See, we are cool down and laugh about it, but I don't think anyone should really plan to bop anyone, especially someone who had to fight from the abuse of their dad, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So I read that part. I just didn't get the beginning. And then also said, I just woke up from a nap. I hope this all made sense as I'm squinting my eyes in this dark ass bedroom. And that's when Willam said what she said about the plan bop thing. And a lot of people giving a lot of kudos to Jaremi over their response over this. One person said, I'm so happy for you, Jaremi. You are such an inspiration to people who are going through what you went through. And you have to realize that maybe at that time when he was on Drag Race, that he was in a bad place at the time. And through therapy and all these other things, he's gone on to become a better person. And applaud anybody that's going to go out there and try to do better for themselves in life. Whereas Willam's out here doing the same bullshit, and we live for it, but you know. And then Jaremi came out and said, I don't know why you living in the past, Willam, but I do find it funny you're acting big here now with all these years old late reads about my time on RPDR. In 2012, LMFAO, the drag queen turned streamer then tried to end the war of words, stating that while Willam is in place of needing validation, he wishes her the best of luck in life. And then went on to say, you were so cruel to me, Jiggly Caliente, and others during our time together on and off the show. This is according to what Willam said, adding that she is the same fighter Jaremi professes to be. She then told the creator to keep her luck and to block me, bitch. And then this one, Jaremi got pissed because here's the thing. Yeah, Jiggly and him were going at it on social media. I mean, did not really get along to begin. And look, Jiggly addressed this at the time when she felt like Jaremi threw her, well, Fifi at the time threw her under the bus or whatever for the show. But they mended fences, they worked it out, and they were best friends. Even when when Jiggly passed away, Jaremi was on the line giving her condolences and all this other stuff. And that's when, of course, Tyra started her BS, which we already addressed that story a couple of episodes ago. So, you up in here bringing up Jiggly, I just feel like, that was the wrong move. And she said, what year are we in? LOL, am I being pranked? You actually need to talk to someone and maybe put the podcast mic down. You want to pretend you are the victim or some victim now years later when people see your true colors. The colors I saw when I first met you and was brave enough to call you on. He added that he had talked nothing but highly of Willam and her talent since appearing on the show, adding that he assumed the pair were cool. And that's what I was saying. Like, even he did, now in the thing, he did say that he gave you a compliment and you still going on. So maybe Willam is just like, maybe she brain dead on one side of her head. I don't fucking know. But he gave you a compliment. And then I went and said, you good? Did you read the rest of my tweets? Actually saying how I like you and haven't talked to you, or are you actually unstable, girl? I don't know why you are living in the past, Willam, but I find it funny you are acting big here now with these years old late reads about my time. So, and then Willam went on to say, I'm definitely unstable, but happy. You were so cruel to me, Jiggly, and others during our time together on and off the show. I was beat till I bled and went to the cops on my parents for abuse when I was a kid, which forged a fighter, same as you. Keep your ex and block me, whatever. So Willam was saying like, yeah, I came up in the trenches the same way you did. I was dealing with abuse of my parents. You was dealing with abuse of your parents. So it seemed like maybe the reason why you two be bopping heads is that y'all have a lot more in common than you realize. So then Jaremi went on to say, Jiggly was my best friend, so how dare you try to bring her name into this? She was a fan of yours, not your best friend. Years, and I mean years now, I still remain on your mind and a talking point in your content as you try to hold on to the little bit of RPDR you can while I moved on, married, and living a happy, gay, nerdy life. He rounded over with the following. He said, I don't need to block anyone. If you feel your place is or your peace is disturbed, the button is there for you to use as well. My peace will no longer be disturbed by your inability to grow up. So while Willa may have ate her up on the show with a lot of her cold little comments or whatever, Fifi looked like she won this one. And looks like she's in a better place. And I'm proud to see that Fifi has, I don't know, I keep calling you by your former drag name, but child, you always be Fifi to me, no shade. But Jaremi seems like he has evolved and he's grown up into a bigger, better person. And it's showing in a lot of what they're saying on social media. Because you can tell if somebody is truly evolved and grown versus somebody who just is stagnant and being the same person. And to me, it's like, we are entertained. We love all the shenanigans and stuff of Willam. But I'm sorry, in this case, you're wrong. You should have just owned up and been for real over some of the stuff you did regarding Mistress because you met your match with her. But I don't like you had to throw someone else under the bus in order to squash your situation going over there with Mistress. So now you squash one thing and open up another can of worms over here with somebody else. And now we're in a conundrum. So who knows if these two will ever bury the hatchet in this situation. It just seems like Jaremi has moved on. Jaremi is minding his business and doing what he do over there. And Willam is still doing what she doing. So I'll keep you guys abreast of this story if any more continues to evolve out of it. But in the meantime, what do you think of this story? I'm about to be messy like on Drag Race. Are you Team Willam or are you Team Jaremi? Put your hashtags in the comments and let me know whose team you on down below. So let me close all the windows. Let's see what the people are saying. Black lovers in the building. Hey, how you doing? Like you said, this is a show for talented people. You shouldn't be here. Yes, they were. There was a lot of anger that was coming from that child too. It's funny. I should went back and watched season 4 before because I'm watching season 5. I should have went back and watched season 4 um before then, but I was like, I don't think I was ready to watch all the drama between Fifi and, of course, Fifi was going on. And Fifi was fighting with everybody. She was fighting with Sharon. She was fighting with Willam. She was fighting with so many people. Mistress released a new Mistress Monday video and explained how she got the voice memo. Oh, okay. Not the Bearded Queen from Dragula. Messy. Okay, well, thank you for that. I might have to watch that Mistress Monday because I didn't get the. Oh, wait, today is Monday. So while I'm in the middle of the show, I wouldn't have gotten it because I'm working. Finding out Willam was scared to go to a show in Houston because she was worried about getting jumped. Child. Okay. Because if you that big of a fighter, ain't no bitch going to have me out here scared. It's going to be the Bad Girls Club everywhere I go. He said, that clip makes me wonder, did Jaremi rat Willam out or did the powers that be find out on their own? I think the powers that be probably found out. They were aware of a lot of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes on the show. And plus, afterwards, a lot of the queens were sitting there telling all of what they was doing, how they would sneak out the rooms and all this. Once the show was over, a lot of them would spill tea on what they was doing. And the producers, I said that while it's entertaining grist for our mill, the producers are on to y'all. Oh yeah, and then she got into it with Alyssa, so it was a lot going on because we thought, oh, she evolved during All Stars. She didn't. It seemed like they probably said there's only one girl on here that's worth a redemption story, and that's gonna be Roxy Andrews. So Roxy Andrews got the redemption arc, and Fifi did not. Manila gave an eulogy I remember. I'm here late because my friend's brother had to pick up his car. Then I was cooking dinner. I made tacos, but added chorizo into that. Sound good, but child, you do know you could have put it on the background while you was cooking. No, I'm just playing. There's always the replay gang. So you know they coming. Yesterday, I was so pissed. I accidentally deleted one of the videos, the lives, the one that I did for the that you could watch in the Reels thing. I was so mad that I did that because I didn't even get to see how many people tuned into that video yesterday. I always check the analytics and numbers and stuff when I'm doing the show. And I was so mad because I was deleting all the extra ones that I had, and I was like, fuck. And I just realized I deleted one of the videos. But I was lucky I kept one of them. But glad you in the room. Better late than never. All right, y'all, let's move on and let's talk about Didi Fuego, aka the mandatory meeting of season 18, who ended up being the pork chop of the season. So, born in Monterrey, Mexico, and representing New York City on RuPaul's Drag Race season 18, the world has fallen in love with the spicy, show-stopping, and wonderful Didi Fuego. After introducing herself in episode 1, surviving a disco gate in episode 2, and getting to lip sync for her life to a club banger by Dove Cameron, Felix's favorite song, Too Much, against her favorite teammate, Mandy Mango. Fellow teammate, not favorite. Didi was asked to sashay away by Mama Ru. So she did open up a little bit about, what she plans to do after, Drag Race and stuff, and say, yeah, this is not the beginning. This is not the end. This is just the beginning of the rest of July. Y'all know the joke from the song that RuPaul does. But anyway, so RuPaul's Drag Race season 18 queen Didi Fuego has explained why her time on the reality show is important in today's political tumultuous climate, despite her being the first contestant to be given the chop. Now, in episode 2 of season 18, the New York-based performer, isn't she like the only New York girl? I'm like, damn, they chopped the New York girls quick. Because they're about to make it all about Florida this season. And her fellow 13 season sisters were tasked with performing in a Q-pop girl group inspired by the mammoth rise of K-pop. Didi Fuego ended up being, well, first of all, I didn't like none of them goddamn songs. The only one I told you I liked was the punk one. That was the only song that I thought was good. The rest of them songs were terrible. As you know, Didi Fuego was in a group with Athena Dion, Darlene Mitchell, and Mandy Mango. And they ended up being in the losing group, Mandy Mango and Didi Fuego. Damn, this sounds like a, Didi Fuego, Mandy Mango. I can make a song out of that. Ended up being in the bottom two. Now, the pair competed in a lip sync to Dove Cameron's Too Much, and you already know Mandy Mango was giving too much, so it was kind of iconic, especially with those horrible-ass death drops. Oh, sorry, dips. I be dragging people when they call them death drops. Well, it looked like she was dropping dead on that floor every time she hit it. So I was like, ooh, I feel like I hurt my back and my knees and all this stuff. Like, she was flopping all over that floor like a fish out of water. That's what she was giving, and this is probably why RuPaul kept cackling every time she did one, because them dips were sloppy. And I'm kind of getting sick and tired. That's all y'all be doing on this damn stage. But look, the song was called Too Much. She gave too much, which is why she got to stay. So though her time on the show was cut upsettingly short, she has explained why her appearance still matters during a time of rapidly increasing anti-immigration sentiment and ICE raids under President and asshole-in-chief Donald Trump. She said, quote, I think the rhetoric that some politicians use is very divisive, but I think people of any kind of a political affiliation see good people and can recognize it. This is what she exclusively told Pink News. The drag performer and fashion designer, who was born in Monterrey, Mexico, is of Middle Eastern Mexican and American heritage, saying, people will be able to see me on their screens, hopefully root for me and connect with my story. She said, you're hearing people's stories and you get to see people for who they are, you root for them, and then you realize, oh, I'm rooting for someone who's Mexican, who you didn't know could look like me. Well, yeah, quiet as it's kept. I know a lot of people always tend to think that Mexicans look like something out of Apocalypto. No shade, I'm just saying. I mean, and trust and believe, some of those men that I be seeing, especially in New York, the ones that have that indigenous, oh, they can get it. Especially the little short ones. I be crushing on a lot of them little short Mexicans that I be seeing in Mexico, in New York. But they're Mexicans that look white. They don't have a distinct look. I know stereotypically they try to think that this is what a Mexican looks like, which is why I always find it ignorant when anytime y'all see someone of Hispanic heritage that y'all always want to lump them in as Mexicans. And it's like, no, they could be Ecuadorian, they could be South American, they could be Brazilian, they could be Colombian. They could be so many different ethnicities, but yet and still, y'all equate Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, y'all put them all as Mexicans because you're ignorant. So I like the fact that she's like, yeah, we all look different. I mean, child quiet as it's kept. If you watch Drag Race Mexico, you see like they touch on all different what a Mexican could look like. She said, if you hear our stories, if you get to know us, you realize the rhetoric that is meant to divide us. It's not worth it. People are people, and when you meet people where they are and you get to hear their stories, you realize that what Drag Race does best is bring people together. The versatile queen also hopes that Drag Race will provide her with a platform to continue connecting with her fans because she has got a lot more to show them. She said, it's always been very important to me that what I do has the widest reach possible and that I get to share joy and positivity and hopefully allow people to connect with their creativity and their spirits. The entertainer has connected with her own creativity on numerous levels. In addition to performing in drag in New York, she designs looks, has created a coloring book and a candle, and makes music. Now with the show, now the show is introducing me to a larger world, I get to share that love and that spirit and that fuego with more and more people, she continued, before teasing some major upcoming projects, saying, quote, I don't take that for granted, and I'm so excited to share some new things with the world, including a collaboration perhaps with a very famous fashion designer coming up. Now, earlier this month, Betsy Johnson announced that they had collaborated with the star on a line of shoes. They go up to size 13 in a bid to be inclusive, with $1 from each pair sold also being donated to the Elton John AIDS Foundation. Sidebar, didn't I hear a story about Jessica Simpson also getting into designing shoes up to size 13? Because somebody asked her, like, which, I guess, asked her a question on, like, what, if she lives for the dolls or whatever the case is, I'm paraphrasing, and it was talking about, because she got a new shoe line. And yeah, look, Jessica Simpson stuff is reasonably priced. And if you can make shoes big enough for the drag queens to fit their feet in, even better. So they ain't got to worry about going to pay less and look for shoes anymore. So as for whether Drag Race fans will get to see the look she had planned for the rest of season 18, she said, the show presents an opportunity to the world of us walking the runway with these magical looks, but we put so much energy into the creation of these looks, and some of them need to be shot in different locations. I'm excited to take people on a tour around the world with my looks. Well, she can find a way to show the looks, because remember, like once upon a time, girls would actually post, well, if I would have survived this week's runway challenge, this was the look I was going to wear, and they posted up. I say follow up on that. Definitely take the look, put it on, move around in it, have somebody film it, put it up on your Instagram or wherever the case is, and people get to see your look for the week if you would have survived on Drag Race. So you got to find ways to continue to push yourself out here and market yourself in so many ways. Somebody like Didi Fuego, it's unfortunate that she was the first girl to get chopped from the show. And hopefully we'll see her in the future. I'm sure we'll probably see her again on a future season of All Stars. But in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding Didi Fuego and all she had to say post her leaving, becoming the pork chop of season 18? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. I felt kind of bad for her early elimination because I remember watching her season 13 audition tape she posted online. Athena has been auditioning for God damn, that's a long time. Although she finally made it on. Yeah, I feel like the punk rock song was the one that had sonically and lyrically the best. It was the stronger song. And the right girl won because I feel like she basically had the best lyrics. Yeah, I didn't know she was trying to. I'm like 13 seasons. So you've been trying since season 5, or maybe around season 5, season 6. Like during Bianca Del Rio season, you've been trying to get on the show, because I'm thinking like from season 6 to season 18, right? No, apparently I don't know math. But yeah, season 5 is like yeah, so they've been trying. She's been trying for a long time. That's crazy that you've been trying to get on the show for the past 13 seasons, and the show's been on for 18 seasons, which means it's like you've been trying around season 5. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so let's get into our final topic. And let's talk about heated rivalry. So everybody, well, mostly everybody's loving heated rivalry. Heated rivalry is being hyped for the gods. I do find it one of the things that I'm starting to fear, because I understand heated rivalry has become this big success and it's blown up, and a lot of people are just loving this show. And I'm here for all the hype and the main co-stars are everywhere. They were doing the talk shows. They were just at the Golden Globes. I'm sure we'll be seeing them at other places. My only fear is with the next season coming, or who knows when they're going to start filming that, can y'all stop trying to overhype them up? Because then it's going to get to a point where we're going to start getting tired of them, and then it's going to start the backlash. I know how y'all are. Y'all love something 1 minute, and then it's like, oh, they're overrated. Oh, I'm sick of them. All this other stuff. And then funny enough, you had Jimmy Fallon, who was out here saying that this whole situation regarding Hudson Williams and all this excitement around him, they're saying that he compared it to Beatlemania. And so now, without further ado, we already know we got a second season coming. Rumors are swirling. They already signed on for a third. Well, guess what? The creator of the Heated Rivalry books has a new series, another book coming out about Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov. Rachel Reid, who wrote the books, has a new book in the series coming out. So, Heated Rivalry author Rachel Reid is advancing the puck with another hockey romance novel, Unrivaled, due September 29th. The 7th installment in the Game Changers novel series will continue to follow Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov, the forbidden lovers now further immortalized in the hit HBO Max series Heated Rivalry. Potential spoilers ahead. Damn, do I want to spoil it? Okay, cover your ears or whatever, because I'm about to put out a spoiler alert. So in the book, they're married and they're out as a couple, and now they face public backlash while navigating life, love, and playing on the same hockey team. So they're actually a married couple who are playing on the same hockey team. So that's the future. So we already know they get together, they're out, backlash ensues. This is interesting that they've created this alternate universe where we get to see this happen. You want to know something? I was never interested in wanting to read these books because I was enjoying the first season, whatever. I really think I'm going to get all of these books and read them. I've heard, like, one of my friends, Karan, told me he read the books and he loves the books. He read all of them relatively quickly. So this series seems really interesting. I'm thinking I might want to check these books out. It's gotten my interest now. Now, per the book synopsis, they said they've gotten a lot of love from fans who are thrilled for them. Excuse me. But some people in the hockey world are still reeling from their relationship reveal and the backlash led by popular hockey podcast Top Shelf, and the hashtag Take Back Hockey movement is getting louder. The description continues. Ilya and Shane are finally able to stand together in the light the way they always wanted, and now they might be facing their biggest challenge yet. While the book series kicked off with the 2018 publication of Game Changer, the story of Shane and Ilya has amassed million more fans in the past couple of months after the steamy Canadian TV adaptation titled Heated Rivalry was picked up for streaming by HBO Max. The show took off, scoring a season 2 renewal in December and catapulting its stars, Hudson Williams and Connor Story, onto the Golden Globe stage. Saying, quote, I'm really excited to have the chance to continue their story with Unrivaled. Reid told People magazine about Ilya and Shane. I'm writing this one for the Holland fans. Oh, that's what y'all call them? Holland? Okay, now I can see that taking off. Old and new. I can't tell you how much the love my characters have received over the years means to me. It has been a blast writing these guys again and revisiting the entire Game Changers cast. This is giving me the same vibe that we got with Harry Potter and Twilight and the Hunger Games, that whole YA resurgence. I really feel like that's going to come back. And what's going to happen now, and what I'm really hoping, because like I said, I really feel like Heated Rivalry is for this generation what Queer as Folk was for my generation. It definitely helped us out. Like, we had never seen nothing like this before on TV, where it was queer couples or queer characters unapologetic with their sexuality and that sort of thing and how explicit the sex was. And women definitely helped catapult Queer as Folk to the success it was back then. Heated Rivalry is the same thing. I just hope that once this whole Heated Rivalry thing dies down, that Connor Story and Hudson will still be able to have a career post Heated Rivalry. And this is just not some niche little fad thing that they've got going on. So I'm rooting for them to still have a career in Hollywood. And I've been hearing like Connor's old YouTube channel got revealed and people started seeing stuff about him as a kid on social media, and he owns it. It's like, yeah, that's me. And so this actually sounds pretty interesting because I was saying for the longest, I haven't read the book, so I wasn't even aware. I was like, I would love to see like two hockey players who come out, and what is that? How do you deal with what's going on in that world of, while there are people that are all for a queer athlete or queer athletes being a couple of coming out and owning their truth, but still showing like, I'm still the same athlete that you knew. I just like dick. And that shouldn't deter you from thinking like, I can't play the game, because you need to unpack those preconceived notions and your homophobic whatever it is that you got going on. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's something you need to unpack with your therapist or an exorcist or whatever the case you want to use. But seeing like how over the years that this could all play out, this would be awesome. So I'm really hoping, since that this is, what is it, 7 books, that we can get 7 seasons of this show, preferably a lot much longer episodes, because that first season was like 6 episodes. We need a lot more episodes. So let's expand, give us at least 10 to 12 episodes, possibly 15 like they're doing with The Pit, and really dive into these characters or other characters that y'all can expand on besides just, Ilya and Shane. So I definitely want to see the other character too. The other hockey player who's dating the smoothie guy. Like, I want to see more of their story play out too as we get to season 2. But in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Are you here for more heated rivalry? We got a new book coming. I'm gonna definitely get a collection of all those books and start reading it so I can get caught up and see where they plan on taking this franchise. So shout out to the show, shout out to the book, shout out to the characters that are on the show, and shout out to Miss Reid. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Like I've said, my parents are Puerto Ricans, but my mom looks white. They don't know till she speaks Spanish. That's why I said a lot of times people really don't understand. Um, oh wait, hold on. I watched the Swiftologist 7 Levels of Pop Stars video. Question: do you think SZA is at the same caliber as Taylor and Beyonce? According to him, no. Fine, I find SZA boring. No shade. I find her boring. I could never really get into her music. Um, a main pop girl. In what eyes? I mean, yeah, she had a successful tour with Kendrick, right? Didn't she do a tour with Kendrick? But the question remains, well, I guess, well, would she be able to do a stadium tour on her own? Or did she got to do a joint tour? Because I understand, like, her last album spent 100 years on the damn Billboard charts. I don't get main pop SZA, but I get bored with SZA. So I do not agree with him on that. But, you know, he thinks he is a soothsayer when it comes to this whole pop culture music thing. Girl, child, you be sitting behind a computer. I actually was in the industry. You just commentating from in your apartment. So they said all of this heated rivalry talk, and I'm still not interested in reading a one. He's like, I don't care. So SZA definitely a main pop girl, but she hasn't reached the heights of so it's like she got that sensibility. People like her, but at the end of the day, she's not on the same level of a Taylor Swift or Beyonce. Because I don't see that. So I don't agree with him with that. Did you see them at the Golden Globes? Connor was nervous. Oh yeah, I told about the Golden Globes in the beginning. I was like, I didn't care. I told about some of the things that I did see, the clips and things, but I did see him up there when he was talking. I don't know if it was, I don't, was he nervous or I thought that was like part of an act or something, but you could be right. He probably was nervous. The secondary couple in Heated Rivalry were more attractive. So funny enough, everybody was saying that because I remember I saw one TikTok video. I forgot the actor's name, but they was like, everybody keep talking about Connor's story and all this other stuff, but why is nobody talking about the smoothie guy? They were pretty much saying like the guy that worked in the smoothie shop, that was the hottest guy on that damn show. And no shade, they was not lying because when you saw him naked, I'm like, bitch. First of all, you can eat food off them abs, and that ass was assing. Now, don't get me wrong, Hudson Williams got cake for days, and Connor Booty was bootying as well, but um the actor that plays the smoothie guy, he was like, okay, that is beauty. That is like Michelangelo's, whatever. What I don't know how to say. That was like a Michelangelo type of statue. Literally, I'm looking at it was like a Greek god. He was just fine as hell. I was like, okay, you fine, and you know it. He said, using the Swiftologist logic, I would consider SZA a 5B artist, not a 5B artist. He said, I like Mero. Yeah, I told about that too. Is that his name, Robbie? I forgot. I think his name was Kip on the show. And then the guy that played the other closeted hockey player, he's bi in real life. So he's revealed that. Ooh, child, I feel like I flew through all these damn topics because, child, we're at the end of the show. So I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. If you have, Michelangelo's kid. If you have not already, please hit that like button. Make sure to smash the notification bell, hit that subscribe, all that good stuff, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Thank you all for your continued support. I'll be back on Wednesday. I will not be here tomorrow because I gotta who is it? It's a college basketball game. It's St. John's versus Marquette. So that's what's going on. So I'll be back on Wednesday with a brand new episode. Love you all for watching. Thank you all for your continued support. And until next time, ciao, darlings.